I did say go. I gave
That's
the
why I
countdown.
stopped.
Okay, welcome back to another episode of Roll for Story, the Claude Coast. Last session, you guys finally defeated those damn stubborn blue dragons that just refuse to give up their land, although it's not even theirs to give up. Of course, the Damsir family have been protected. You were there just in the nick of time, quite literally as time kind of resumed in that moment. But you've had quite a lot of repairs to do on the airship. A lot of lightning bolts literally streak through the decks, destroying a lot of the interior. But thankfully, Irina has a lot of the blueprints and designs, knows where to potentially make some patch job fixes. So yeah, you're jury rigging it together over this time. Meanwhile, the other rest of the party have gone to sell dragon parts and also acquire some magical items in preparation for potentially going to the elemental plane of Earth. While you're there, you went to Cal Hatter's cage and she started drawing up the plans for making a set of dragon scale mail, which is going to be a little while to create. Like, you've got all the necessary parts, but it just takes a long time to basically craft the enchantments and put it all together. So you've left all the scales with them. You've kind of paid. Have you paid them yet?
Not yet.
Because you can get that process underway.
Can we, rather than paying the full amount, can we put a deposit down and pay the rest when we come back? Because we don't, we trust them, but we don't know if they're going to run off with the scales and the money we give them. They could do. Maybe the scales were what they needed.
Cal Hatter is a little shady.
Yeah.
Plus the amount of time, that it would take to make this. What if the customer dies before they return?
Yeah.
And then they got a free plate mail anyway.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Good marketing.
Yeah.
Business.
Yeah. So we'll put a deposit down of say.
Well, you can convince them if you can put a
Right.
deposit down.
Right. Well, I suppose we should start with that. So.
With any persuasion check.
Aided by Lavellum because he raised the other valid point. Do I?
I mean, that's a plus for them, not a plus for you, right?
No. I mean, it gives us a. It's also a. It is a plus for them, but it's also sort of explains why we only want to put a deposit down because there's a chance we might not be able to come back. And either way, they're still up on the thing because they'll have the dragon scale mail plus the gold, and they won't have had to give anything else. So technically, they would have made a profit regardless.
Potential, but I'm gonna just say for flat roll for now. Yep.
The urge to use magic in this situation. I could. But I won't. I'll just roll it flat. But 24 is pretty good.
Okay, they need advantage. She says, well, it is only 1,000 gold, but I suppose if you want to put down a deposit, you can... Oh, wait, sorry, is it 1,000 gold? Or is it 2,000 gold?
I don't know, Chris.
I think it was 3,000.
I don't
All right,
know.
well, the price of dragon scale mail is usually 4,000. And
But
you're providing
the
the materials. So that's at least half price, for sure.
So,
it was definitely
I think half price is good. Halving the price is very good. That's...
No.
Yes.
Al Hatter, it was definitely 1,000.
That might have been 1,000 for the deposit.
right.
She says, how much have you got on you, regardless?
Well, I've got 100 and a potion of fire resistance.
And you? Points to the robed one.
I I've got. Don't know actually.
I don't know how much you've got either. I don't know how much anyone's got but myself.
I've got like just over 1,500.
So if you put
Excellent.
down, if you put,
You could put down 1,000, and then I'll begin work on it immediately. I am, after all, going to be dropping everything else to start this. It takes many weeks of work.
right, you okay with that, Llewellyn? Wait, are you okay with that, Llewellyn? Let me get into the right voice.
That really messed up your your vocals when you went into that tower, didn't it?
It really did. I mean, I ended up like training my dad, who trained me. It was weird.
Anyway, yeah, sure. How much did you say you had as well? Are we going halves on this?
Well,
or-
I've only got 100. I'm quite poor. So I can put the 100 down, and then you pay the 900, and then
Sure,
you can have a potion of fire resistance.
sure.
I'm
not?
I'm the negotiator. You're the financier. This is the way this sort of thing works.
All right, knock that off your sheet then, Llewellyn.
And I'll knock
And
off mine.
that's 1,000 paid towards
Yeah.
the. And she says she will literally get started on it right away. So
Right,
putting a deposit down is a good thing, I guess. Paying some up front. So yes, the grizzled fire genasi takes the large bag of scales off of you and begins inspecting each one, the quality and such. Is there anything else you'd like to do in Guidia before heading back?
well, we need to head back in order to let Irina know about the next adaptation and see if they're willing to provide the funds we need, because we don't have that, but we need those items to really help Kashan. So
wait, them two are just at port, aren't they?
yeah,
Yeah, so it's only like a small walk, discuss it with them, and then come back.
yeah. So we'll head to that. And do you want to add a potion of fire resistance to your sheet, Llewellyn? Because I'll give you one of them because you paid so much. I've got 3.
Damn.
We got those again because
They give you an hour of fire resistance, which would allow you to survive in the desert for an hour without making the saves.
yes, that's why.
Plus, from what I understand, go back into character here, the Earth Elemental Plane does border with the Fire Elemental Plane at some point, so it might get a bit hot.
Yes, Llewellyn says very slowly as he re-equips his ring of fire.
Well, I forgot you had that. But you
No,
might not be able to use that, because we've got limited items we can keep attuned, and,
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out how to copy it over again. But yeah, that's good.
Right, let's head back to the others and let them know the discussions that have happened and whatnot.
Okay. All right. So it does take another day to go back, but it's fine. You've got some time to kill this time. So the party has reconvened in the Damsir estate near Riley Airport. And I'd like Irina to give me an intelligence check, just to see how good of a job. Oh wait, yeah, you're using your Tinker's tools. That is. I think we did a couple rolls last time.
Improve.
I think if you can roll, if you have Tinker's tools on your character sheet,
I do.
then just click those and then click intelligence.
It's on intelligence, yeah?
Yeah.
16.
16. Okay, cool. So you're following the blueprints to the letter. It's slow work, but you feel like it's better to go slower than rush it and try to and make a mistake, especially on something like an airship. So it's a success, but it's just taking you time to really fix up the ship. That lightning streak that tore a hole really did a job on it. So Yeah, and sometimes you have to wait for new parts to be made. Like you're gonna need a lot of wood, so the Damsier family are helping like do some of the wood carving job just to get new boards down. But yeah, all right. The party all reconvene. You are all together at one.
Like taking a break from like repairing the ship. Andy and Irina are literally trying to make the world's tallest cake.
That so the title makes sense of this episode.
Yep.
What what kind of cake is it?
Every layer's a different flavour.
Yes.
Ooh.
And some
Like
of them are really nasty.
Sophia's Franken wedding cake.
Yeah. Like I'm putting like ashes. Like I've got some tree ashes.
It's like
I've got you some sand.
Yeah.
it's like a cake with like a different layer for each member of the party. So like Irina's layer has like the ashy sort of thing.
But then there are some really, really like tasty ones. So you've got like a banana bread layer.
So think 30 box every flavour beans, but as a cake.
Yes.
Okay. Is this meant to be edible in the end?
It's
Yes and no.
we call it the chaotic cake.
It's kind of like it's also kind of like those Dorito roulette things where like some of them are like really spicy and some of them are like quite tasty. So you never know with each slice whether it's going to be good or bad, and that's part of the game.
Imagine it like it's like a giant Jenga tower, and like each one of the blocks is a different flavor, and you have to pick out the one that you want.
You're making Terek's tower as a cake.
Jenga tower, not Terry's tower.
I know, but his is very gingery. All right, tell you what, let's see how well this cake turns out. One of you can roll with advantage if you're helping one or the other.
What are we
You
rolling?
can roll. Let's go with the charisma because it's kind of very artsy.
You're just slightly higher in charisma than me.
It's an ability check with advantage. 21.
Nice. Well, it's as you described it, and more. It seems as though everything's perfectly in line. It looks delicious, but its underlying flavors have a
Like we don't tell anyone about the flavors, and we put icing around it, so they have no
Disguise
idea
it.
that it's all different cakes. It's just
Yeah,
there.
they would need to. They would need
And we
to
make
a
the
very discerning
outside
eye.
look like Terry's tower.
In a way, because you said it's like Jenga blocks, I'm now imagining like each like block as like a slice of Battenberg.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
But they're all sort of stacked like a Jenga tower.
And you've neatly disguised the ashes as what looks to be like dark chocolate sprinkles, and the, it looks like a dusting of cinnamon is the sand. But all right, yeah, everyone comes back to the oddly sweet smell of baking when you'd expect, like I don't know, oil and
And he's
And
like
sawdust.
stood on the counter trying to like do the top.
Well, the oil and the sawdust probably ended up in the cake in one way or another.
that's true. Yeah.
At least
I
I
really
know
didn't-
now. If my job as a musician fails, I could always open a bakery.
This is very true.
Oil and the sawdust has its own layer. And
I like to think that Karis walks in just as you're like, I could open a bakery. Not a bad idea. It's always good to have like a backup sort of thing. Also, hi.
We made a cake! Ta-da! Yeah, it's quite tall.
We got bored. If you can't
Towering
tell.
cake with many layers and delicious-looking icing stands before you. You can still see the bowls and the spoons laid around. They've literally just finished.
Huh. Well, before we dig into your delightful dessert in the desert,
Can I scale it?
you wanna
I
try
don't
it?
think it's got the support for that.
some of the layers might, but who knows, depending on how dense they are. Right, so I've got some good news and some expensive news. Which would you like first?
All right, what do you want?
Well, obviously for where Kashan wants to go, there's an issue with breathing. So we have...
Breathing would be good.
we have commissioned at a discounted price, which I did negotiate. I did haggle this time.
Was that a trumpet?
Some necklaces of
That was
adaptation, which will allow you to like breathe underwater, breathe.
Carius,
Yeah.
get to the point. How much do you want?
For that, for one for each of us, apart from Llewellyn, 5,000 gold.
That's
Never
a lot
even
of
heard of
That
that
is
much
a
money.
lot of money.
I know, but they were originally 2,000. No, they were originally 1,500 each, and they managed to knock off 1,000 from the total. He was trying to upsell us with some other items, but we said no. Though I admit the ring did look very Llewellyn.
5,000 gold.
Oh, and we also got someone to start working on your dragon scale mail. Managed to get a big discount on that. It's normally 4,000. Gonna get it for 2,000. We've already put down 1,000.
I mean, if we need more money, we can go gambling.
It's not that we don't have. Sorry, it's not that I don't have the money. It's just a lot of money.
I realised that. That's why we came back before, like, fully settling on. I mean, they're gonna have to make the necklaces anyway. They're just, if it helps persuade you in any way, we have got the necklaces customized. So like Andy's gonna have like a nice like starry pattern to match her cloak. Yours is gonna be like fiery.
I mean, the alternative would be that.
It's fine. It's fine. I need to borrow sorrow, and I pull out a bit of paper.
Okay, and I'll let her borrow Sorrow, but the alternative would be we could let Kashan go die on his own.
Sorrow, I would like for you to write out an IOU
Ring.
for Carius
Oh.
and Llewellyn for me to redeem at any point in which I choose.
Wait. Why me? I don't need one.
Yeah,
This is
Because you went with him and did not stop this.
it was his idea. I just negotiated the price.
You gotta remember, Irene is not your own personal piggy bank.
Yep, that's why we
I
came
never
back to
said
ask.
it was for money. I'm just saying you owe me, and I can redeem this whenever I choose.
Honestly, between us,
Ooh.
considering how long I've known you, this is kind of a common practice. So I'm just gonna go with it. I'm pretty sure this has
I would
happened at
like
least half a
Sorrow
dozen
to
times before.
draft up a legally binding I owe you one favor.
I am legally not signing this because this isn't for me.
Technically, in a way, it's also an IOU for Kashan because this is to help him.
Exactly. This isn't a Kashan owes you.
Shan did not go and spend my money.
He was with
before
us.
asking.
He was with us.
I didn't say a thing.
Exactly. He didn't try to stop us.
Technically, we haven't spent it, so you don't have to if you don't want to.
If I'm honest, I was kind of looking into the wind and
We only sort of commissioned them. Like, if it turns out that we don't want to get them or whatever, then we don't have to. But
It's
it's
Fine. If we go there, we need them, but it's a lot of money.
yes, and I
And
realize.
I am getting something out of this.
Fine.
Me too.
Karis just signs it.
put my name at the top with yours, Irina.
You are getting something out of this. You're getting dragon armor.
I
did
know,
not
but I
ask
want
for
something
that.
else. I want more money. I mean,
It's fine. All right, Carius.
Yeah, Karis signs it.
Okay, that's fine. Carius gets it, and Carius gets the money.
Yep. So I will I guess I will add 5,000 gold for the time being to my sheet, if that's the way we want to do it.
Mhm.
Because the other 1,000 gold we don't need for a while yet, because we can.
Okie dokie. I
But-
have edited my sheet.
Oh, and whilst we are in the Earth Elemental plane, look sort of pointedly at Kashan and Angie at this point. If we do manage to recover any items, then it seems like a lot of Earth Genasi will pay top dollar for them. So, just saying. Not encouraging,
you're
just saying.
saying you're encouraging us to steal.
No, I'm just putting the idea there in case you want to. You'll know
It's
it'll be
encouraging
profitable.
you to borrow without asking, but with no intention of return.
So steal.
Essentially,
You can say the dirty word. It's stealing.
yeah. Well, I'm, as I
I'm a
said,
thief by trade.
yeah. As I was saying, I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying you could, and it would be profitable.
No, Carius. You just want me to steal. Okay, I get it.
I was more just.
I really take no offense by it.
Yes, it's fine.
Take whatever your grubby little hands can get.
Yep.
I just don't do it so often now because we make so much money anyway.
Yeah, one of the particular reasons for it is apparently the Earth Dow were pretty much, well, they're pretty much horrible people to all of the people who are there, enslave them, etc. So in a way, it's more reparations than stealing, if you want to put a positive spin on it. But mostly, it's just stealing. We're kind of going for the Robin Hood angle: steal from the overly powerful Dow, give to the rich Earth Genasi.
Do we actually know how long we may end up being there? I kind of am on the time limit.
Yes. Well, from my understanding and talking, there isn't the weird time dilation thing that there is in the Feywild. So however long we'll be there will be the same amount of time here, which is a bonus.
Okay.
I suppose the big issue is once we go in.
Is getting out again?
Yeah, because even if we do come out the same way, depending on what time of year it is, we could come out back in Midra, and then we've got to sail back over here. Which could prove problematic. Oh, yes, we know about teleportation, but we don't have a teleportation circle set up anywhere. We don't know of any in the Claude Coast.
Well, if you give me time, I can set one up on the boat.
A whole year?
Yeah, it takes a year to set them up permanently.
It does take a year,
That's
yeah.
true. I thought it was a month. No.
No.
Day, sorry. No, not a year.
Yeah, but as long as you go back to the boat every day.
Yeah, but yeah.
The moving teleportation, so how convenient would that be?
Also, there's the
It's true.
subject of the circle needs to be on the ground. Inscribed on the ground.
The ground
Yeah.
of the boat?
Ground of the...
What if we filled like the very bottom of the boat with soil? That's
Yes.
technically ground.
Yes. Otherwise,
It's just a jar of dirt and...
No, not just a
algae.
jar of dirt, but I mean like layer the entire.
No, I know,
bottom of
but I
the
mean
boat.
like... Jack Sparrow's like, it must be near land, and he's got a jar of dirt, and it's like, we've got ground, look, it's soil. It's,
they do that in the Pirates of the Caribbean with the
Yeah, I
bucket
think
of water.
that's why another thing. But
Yeah.
I think with teleportation circle, like with most of you're drawing a symbol on the ground, they can't move once they've been put down, which is the problem, and the boat moves.
Would
no,
that
they can
mean?
move.
The floorboard's on the boat, though.
Yeah.
But
would,
anyway, there's no point because of course it's not gonna
Yeah.
actually.
would that mean you
get
could?
done.
Would that mean you could never put a teleportation circle on the archipelagos?
Well, I
Floating
will
island?
say you do know of one, at least one teleportation circle, Andy, and that is the one in Weep.
Yeah, so we
yeah,
know.
but that means getting back over here.
Yeah, the problem is it's not so much like that one will be useful if we end up popping up, I don't know, wherever the crystal cave is other than these two spots. As imagine there's places all over the world. Like we might end up in the Sword Coast for all we know. And then it's just like but at least then we'll be able to get near-ish. So we need a teleportation circle
Although
in the claw.
it has to be on the same plane of existence as you, so...
Yeah. Well,
That's right.
it was more like, because if we came out of the Earth plane, we can't guarantee that the way we went in is the place we'll come out because the entrance moves.
Right.
So it was
Yep.
more getting back to the Claw Coast once we leave. If we end up, oh, we're back in Midra, and it takes us like 2 months to sail across again.
Right.
Then I am screwed.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Technically,
you could say that there was one in the palace,
right.
but like obviously it's a situation of the relationship there is on very fine ice right now, and we're in a desert, so I don't know if that's a good idea.
Mind wiping?
We could also sneak in, I suppose, and try to see the runes. Or you could ask him via letter to send us a copy of the runes, so that we can be like, we need these so that we can get back to you in time. You know, to fulfill your promise.
I can try, but I mean, I can write a letter if you drop it off.
I'm just gonna ask Arakos because he's around. Dad, do we have a teleportation circle set up around here?
Of course not. I've not known wizard magic.
Yeah, that's true. Do you know anyone nearby who does? Like, is there one in like
Well, it's said that many cities did used to use teleportation circles, but since the war, like centuries ago now, they've all been destroyed. Only one
out
remaining.
game, I know that there's a portal outside of the Dry Oasis because I put the thing there.
Yeah.
But it doesn't lead to Midra.
No.
So yes, each city used to have one, but there aren't many cities left in the Clawed Coast.
Do you think the Dry Oasis has one, or
That's what I was just about to say. You know, considering Andy lived there most of her childhood, did she potentially see Raheem put one down? Or point one
Once
out
again,
at least?
Raheem. Wait a minute.
And also,
Quick question: how do you know teleportation circle?
Sorry?
How do you know teleportation circle?
One of the spells I've got.
Yeah,
on the violin or on?
No, it's one of the ones I gave her.
I think it's
so,
from
you picked...
Magical Secrets.
Understood. Okay, yeah, you picked it. I'm gonna say you don't know of the one in the Clawed Coast. Oh, sorry, in the Dry Oasis. Probably because it wasn't one open to the public. It would have been one secured within. Oh, wait. Quick question. Irina, you just said that you had a teleportation circle?
In my Tuesday group, this is how the Dry Oasis originally came to be, is that
it wasn't a teleportation circle.
The group in Evermore used
a trash can.
Magical trash can to teleport to the Dry Oasis.
That was more of a planar portal.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a portal. It's not a teleportation circle.
Yeah, okay.
As part of learning teleportation circle, aren't you meant to automatically know two spots?
You do, yeah. You're supposed to get two, which is one of them was the one in Weep. And the second one is, well...
Would Malone have mentioned it? Because obviously there was a portal in the Capital Library.
Oh, yeah.
So, would she have mentioned it?
Yeah, there would have been one in the major library, but you didn't start in the library, did you? Started in...
No. What I'm asking is, like, obviously Malone was in the Dry Oasis, so did she know about a teleportation circle?
That she might have mentioned. I mean, that might have been...
In the capital city or in the Dry Oasis?
In the Dry Oasis, because I already know there's one in the capital city.
Okay. I'll tell you what, both Andy and Irina can roll a history check.
9. Andy. History check.
Oh, what am I doing?
History.
Natural one, rough. Neither of you are 100% certain if there is or isn't one in the dry oasis. The only fact you know is that each city used to have one. If there is one, then it's a well-guarded secret.
Well, I
But
need
for
to go and
now-
see. I need to go to Malone's old place anyway. If it's,
I mean,
there.
yeah,
There might be something.
That's true. I mean, there's the off chance, and this would be an off chance, but the Rattling Ruins are ruins. We don't know what they're ruins of. There may be the remnants of one there. Perhaps.
Or the ruins of Rattles.
Yes.
You did go there, and it did look very ruined. If there was one, it was probably destroyed along with...
Yeah. So our best bet
Everything.
is probably the Dry Oasis to see if we can... Because I very much doubt the Gobkin mine is, or Saw Null is going to have any.
The fun thing about the fun in air quotes thing about the Dry Oasis is obviously their currency is water.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to try and bribe someone,
Wait, their currency's water?
yes, it's called the Dry Oasis. They don't get much fresh water.
Let's see.
I know what you're thinking. And I'm not going to say anything.
I mean, I have create or destroy water.
I know you do.
Heck, between me and Irina, if we spent the time, we could probably redirect a river past the Dry Oasis with the amount of control water magic we have between us. Right. How are the ship repairs looking?
They are, by the looks, they're enough to get the ship up in the air. But if you go into another battle, you're going to be risking the total destruction of it.
I mean, I'll keep working on it, but I was like, I got sidetracked by cake.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh yeah, probably another day. You need at least just to check everything.
I mean, we've got time to spend. I mean, because we've got a couple of weeks before the Crystal Cave appears, something like that.
Yeah, but Andy still needs to go and find her dad.
Yeah, well, that's in the Dry Oasis anyway, which is on the way. So if it takes another day to repair the ship, then we can then fly the ship to the Dry Oasis or nearby. And then, heck, I could spend the rest of today literally just filling up barrels full of water, and we can go in as rich as kings.
I would be very, very sneaky and try and hide some of it if you can, because they do take a toll when you enter the city.
Well, I was more just going to leave it on the ship until we needed it. I'm actually going to look at Ericos again and just be like, do we have diplomatic passes so we don't have to pay the toll to get in?
It doesn't matter, even if you have a pass. Everyone pays the toll on the Dry Oasis.
Do we get it discounted because of merchant status?
The idea, the water gets shared around everyone.
Yeah. This.
Yeah, it just sounds a bit selfish.
I'm just trying to save.
Of course, the rich, pompous people get more than the rest.
Though, to be honest, it sounds even worse because I'm basically trying to hold on to my limitless supply of water. Wow.
They will take a percentage.
I just sort of consider things for a moment and be like, I mean, I've heard of a magic item called the Decanter of Endless Water, so how do they take a percentage of that?
They just continue to keep dipping it in the barrel? I don't know.
Just don't let them know that you can do what you do.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they
might
not.
keep you.
Yeah, they may not let you leave.
Now that you've mentioned that, Andy can probably... I don't even think you need a history check for this. So I'll just tell you. But Andy, you know they have ways of knowing if water is conjured or not.
Yeah, they're very clever with these things. They've learned how to figure out if the water is from a natural source or a magic.
So basically, we fill up with fresh water while we're here. Don't touch it, because that's for use in the dry oasis. Anything we do need, you can...
Yeah.
You haven't got fresh water supply here. You've got salt water.
Which I can...
You have purify?
I could prepare purify
So
food.
what exactly do the people here drink?
We just make
Well,
magical
water. Oh, they obviously, yeah. Either they conjure their own water, or they will have to purify, Yeah.
Yeah. To be honest,
desalt water.
what I could do, because I'm pretty because part of the desalinization process is through electrolysis.
Yeah. It would, yeah.
And I imagine by freezing water, which is something I can do as well, that's a way to potentially get the salt out. I think there's something you can do with freezing water to get salt out. So I'm
pretty
like
sure you can also just boil it.
Yeah. Between us, we have the ability to be a desalinization plant for a few days to make natural water via magic. Which is not conjured water.
True that. Well, depends what you want to do then. You want to spend a few days here though, but you've got effectively like 3 weeks. You spent 1 week already. The crystal cave is supposed to open up in 3 weeks' time. And Andy needs to be back in Gaidia in 2 weeks' time.
Oh, so that's actually before we go.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
So.
Right, so we need to deal with that first, but first we need to go speak to your dad, so if we spend another day fixing up the ship between us, then I can spend that time to desalinize some water, and then
If you got the spell purify, I mean you could prepare it, couldn't you?
Yeah.
That'll do the job.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean yeah. So and that 5-foot radius sphere, so just fill up some barrels within 5-foot radius of me. Done.
Yeah, so,
and I can ritually cast it.
So where are we at right now? Because
we're at...
Are we still Gaidia or...
No, we're at the Rylia port. They didn't come with us. We just did a day trip between.
Do we still need to get the necklaces, or where?
Yes, we need to get the necklaces, but it'll take a little
while.
while.
They've only got 2 necklaces for sale at the moment. They're importing another 2, which they said will take a couple of weeks.
So we need to deal with Andy's thing first anyway, so we've got time.
Okay.
You'll have to return to Gaidia for the necklaces at about the same time as when Andy needs to be there.
Right.
First is the dry oasis.
Yeah, obviously, if we're taking the airship with a few barrels of water, it's not going to take too long to get to the dry oasis, and we can skirt towns and stuff, so we're not obvious, go above clouds, etc. So do it just...
Scorpion on the way?
Yeah, I'm just thinking, do you want to quickly dip down south, kill the giant scorpion for the reward money so that we can help pay off Irina, and then go to the dry oasis?
I could punch something.
Yeah, it's a giant
You can always punch something.
It's a giant purple...
This is true.
It's a giant purple scorpion, from my understanding. Magic. So...
To be fair, I've heard of this thing too.
I mean, I kind of want to kill it because it almost went for my sister, and it kind of deserves to die for that.
I kind of want to study it, be fair.
Post-mortem examination good?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Sweet.
Right.
Well,
So we'll spend a day fixing the ship and preparing barrels of fresh water with purified food and drink, which I can do. Then we'll go down to the south, which it was around like here-ish, wasn't it? Somewhere like here where we ran into the thing.
Yeah, near enough.
Because it was near the Knolls, because we ended up basically wiping out their entire civilization.
I have
About the
no
whole
recollection
civilization.
of what you're speaking about.
Yeah.
Had no involvement at all.
Kill a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, well, could go do that first.
I mean, because
Alright.
at an estimate, if we spend a day repairing the ship, how long do we think it would take to get to, say, the outskirts of the dry oasis, like here-ish, so we're not like immediately next to it, so they can see the ship via the airship?
Sorry, you have to repeat that.
So via the airship, how long do we think it would take to get near the dry oasis?
Via airship.
Yeah.
Well, you'll be going as the crow flies, so a week on, like, with bad weather, or probably about 4 days if you can keep the engine going, boosting.
Okay, so
A lot of it depends on winds.
I mean, that's kind of my thing.
Then you should be, if everything lined up perfectly for you, then you could get there within 4 days.
Okay, so we've got 2 weeks, so that's 14 days. We're going to spend a day here fixing up the ship. We're going to then go kill the scorpion, say another day. That leaves us with 12 days. Takes us between 4 and 7 to get to the dry oasis. That's going to be, so go on the outside. That would leave us with 5 days, which should be plenty of time to do what we need in the dry oasis and get to Guidia.
Is that including the fact we have boosters?
Yes.
Oh.
Yep.
That'd be 4 days if we manage to time the boosters perfectly and stuff, but otherwise it'll take up to 7. But I imagine on foot it's probably going to take us the entire time to get there. Pretty much. It's going to take us twice as long. Plus, on the airship, we don't have to worry, so because of how high up we are and stuff, we don't have to worry about burning ourselves to death. Well, you guys burning yourselves to death, I'm good. But anyway, so, plan of action then. Today, well, fix up ship, make water, go fight giant scorpion, go to dry oasis, talk to Andy's dad, deal with anything else we need to do there, maybe find a teleportation circle, go to Guidia, deal with that, and then get the stuff, then go to the Crystal Cave. Unless anything comes up. Any objections to that? Right, yeah, so there we go. We're just gonna. I wonder how many barrels of water can fit in a 5-foot radius. Probably a fair amount if you stack them.
All right. So then, huh?
All I heard is tomorrow we murder.
Pretty much.
Seems so. So if anyone wants to prepare spells for the coming day, I do so now.
I will unprepare that because I'll have prepared purified food and drink, which is the other thing.
Done. Yeah. While you do that, I'll be right back real quick.
Yep. And if it's resistant to lightning, it won't be to me. It's a shame there's not an equivalent of an elemental adept for necrotic, because that would be pretty cool.
Some tweezers. I nearly got it.
So, whilst we're waiting, just a bit of self-advertising for the group. Join us on Sunday for the Witch Hunters. You know, it's a good show. We're doing some interesting things. And not this Monday, but the Monday after, which is the 20th, we'll be continuing with What Lies Beneath, where hopefully we may have the full party and hopefully we won't have any technical issues.
Huh?
I'm just doing a few bit of advertising whilst we're waiting for Chris to get back. You know, advertising ourselves. Because we have no sponsors yet. If it helps get you hyped for the Underdark campaign, What Lies Beneath, I've almost killed the entire party in the first session.
Yeah,
That's a good start.
intense.
With Sturges. I can't believe the Sturges have been the bane of two parties' existences that I ran through with these. They're not difficult enemies, but if they hit you and they latch on and you don't manage to hit them, they're quite deadly very quickly. But
Well, it didn't help that all of us, for like 2 rounds in a row, didn't roll higher than a 10.
yeah.
With our multiple attacks.
Or what?
I just
With the
like the fact
Sturges.
that you lot were all saved by a mushroom.
Yep.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. A mushroom and a rotten fish head. So, tip for any DMs, if you ever want to stop the wizard casting or any of your spellcasters casting, don't let them into a kitchen because they will find components.
Alrighty. Activate this old scene then.
Hey Lahiri, what are you doing with us?
Yeah, I know.
Hi.
We'll be heading off soon.
You came down here for more flower picking. It's like, no,
Yep.
we're not going for flower picking, we're going to fight giant monsters. You can pick your flowers after.
Need to refresh. Go gather some lumber.
Uh,
Do.
For some reason, I'm all the way up here.
Alright then. So as you're heading out into the desert, are you going by foot?
How long? It shouldn't take us long to get there by foot because we did it pretty quickly last time.
Take you about,
Half a day?
yeah, roughly. To go to the same area where Lahiri was, yeah.
Yeah, so half a day to get there, fight a scorpion, half a day to get back. Should be fine.
What time are you going?
Probably in the morning.
Okay.
You know, we'll head
In that
off
case,
fresh.
then, change this up. Everyone can drag their tokens on.
Yep. Right.
Blind. Yeah, well, you said going during the day.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's just
so-
I wasn't expecting the sudden change.
As you're going, you're trying to spot the same similar area that you went to before. So those who are heading that can make a survival check.
I shall certainly try. Mine's not bad.
I recognize nothing.
There is definitely sand this way. We'll ignore the burnt corpses of the gnolls.
I see nothing.
I actually don't know. Do gnolls bury their dead?
They probably cannibalize them, let's be real.
Yeah, I was thinking that. So ignore the lightning struck bones. That was nothing to do with me.
Yeah. So did anyone get above a 10? Yes,
I got
Karis, cool.
16.
Good. All right, Karis, you begin following the same trail that your younger sister paved out for you. And before long, you start to see the signs in the desert. And it's much easier to see during the day. There's these shimmering, sort of bluish scales. Sorry, purplish. They're purplish in color, even though I think they're blue on the map, aren't they?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Well, use your imagination. They're slightly purple. And as you pick one
They're
up,
like a bluey purple, like an indigo sort of thing.
ah, perfect. Okay then.
No, I'm
In that
just going to
case-
say that. That was my acquiescence for your.
All right. So as you kind of examine them, you recognize this isn't just an odd-shaped rock or a different coloration. No, these are this sort of strange chitinous like malt. And you do remember it after all of this time. You did examine it. You realized it was malting
Yes.
of a chitinous like insectoid creature.
Which means that potentially it's going to be bigger.
Yeah, in fact, looking at this stuff, it does look fresher, this malting.
Right. Well, it's been a while. He has to up the CR. We're stronger now.
Precisely.
Well, I am. I think I'm the only.
Correction, you are stronger.
I'm significantly stronger. We're missing a Kashan.
Come on, Clem. Drag your token on. There you go.
Catman.
All right. So as you're going around, how exactly do you... Lol. You got old Kashan. You got desert camo Kashan. There you go. Yeah, I'm guessing you want another kit. You want a different one. Here you go. Nope. I rolled really bad again. There you go. Or do you want this one? Or this one?
I like.
Well done. There you go.
So,
all right. Yeah, how are you planning to set this up? This whole place, as you look over the desert, looks to be coated in this strange purple malt.
Well, it's a desert creature that can dig, which means it likely has tremor sense of some kind. So what's the best way to attract it? Make lots of tremors. So Karas will take a few steps forward, slam his glaive into the ground, and, and cast Thunderclap into the ground.
No fear. Doesn't... It's not... Okay, alright.
To do that a little bit away from the rest of us.
Oh, fine, I'll go a bit further.
I'm just like, I'm going to go hide behind a sand dune and just wait there.
Karas will sort of stand up front and he'll say, Kashan, you want to fight something? Come join me. You might hear it through your feet.
Yes, please.
Center, so you're right here.
He's very good with his feet.
It is a thing.
Really?
Yeah. Feeling the vibrations is like hearing through your feet.
Yep. So Karas will sort of spin his glaive round, slam it into the ground with a thunderclap that can be heard up to 100 feet away.
Here I can. Okay.
I'm going to go hide behind this sand dune.
Yes, I will come with you.
So this cacophonous blast sends dust and sand into the air, scattering it around you, leaving a small crater.
Yeah.
And you wait. Waiting.
You said scorpion, didn't you?
Yeah.
Said scorpion. What?
I'm preparing myself.
Okay.
Our visuals.
Oh, right, yeah, they are technically arachnids. Yeah, true that.
They're spider crabs.
So you wait and wait, and
No,
everyone,
spider crabs.
as you're preparing yourself, looking over the battlefield, can all roll a perception check. Because you know
check.
I'm going to be rolling stuff.
I'm too busy hiding.
Sand got in your eye.
I've got sand in my eyes.
Dude.
See, Kashan heard it through his feet. As did Andy. She's very attuned to the vibrations from...
Andy felt it in all the colours of the wind.
Flipping hell.
Yeah,
Not Pocahontas.
Llewellyn and Andy. Llewellyn and Andy.
Like, expertise.
Yeah.
Yikes. Well, okay.
Like I know as like when a god so much as walks in my direction.
Apparently so. That was impressive.
What else do you think she hid behind a sandstone?
That bit with the T-Rex.
Andy, you can see the faintest bit of vibration on perhaps one of your violin strings. It's almost as if something is moving at a fine frequency through the earth. And I mean, you don't have tremor sense, but you can definitely feel something in the earth as well. And Levin, same with your book. It's probably got their feelers out on the ground, like the tentacles laid out, and it's just
I'm gonna mage armor myself in prep.
Okay. All right. Casting mage armor, and let's see here. What you see, Andy, is off in the distance. You just see this slight ripple, like a wave. You could have mistaken it for just the sand being pushed by the air and the winds, but there's a slight lump to it, which reminds you of perhaps like a large fish moving through water. But you see it on the outskirts, but it doesn't seem like it's immediately approaching. It seems like it is encircling.
It's fine, I was supposed to do the Jaws theme.
Likely because with such a loud noise, it may be wary. For example, when you go to lure out a spider, you don't just break the web. It will retreat. Something that big is actually going to alert the spider that it's in over its head. But just slightly teasing the web will actually make it so that the spider emerges, thinking that something is trapped and helpless. But that loud noise, it seems as though this thing is just keeping its distance.
You've got to roll around in the sand and pretend you've fallen down.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Carius.
It is clearly an intelligent hunter.
Right.
Your display of power was too scary for it.
Right. Carius is gonna just start jumping up and down, making smaller
Make
vibrations.
sound angels.
Right. Maybe
Jumping up and down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, which direction is it in?
Kind of went that way.
I'm gonna head in that direction, and then as I get sort of closer to it, I'm gonna start crawling and be like, water! And then I'm just gonna like pretend to be like a dried out husk on the floor.
All right. Roll a deception check.
Yeah. Carius mostly made the big noise.
Deception.
Yeah.
Perception.
D. Get the
Right,
D.
okay.
Yeah.
The perception.
Depth perception. 16. That's not bad.
Yeah. As you got closer to it and began like flailing around on the ground and shouting this,
I didn't
you actually
flail, I
see
crawled.
you crawling around. Okay.
Slow
You
flailing.
see this. You see the sand sort of rise up, and it circles past you, and then disappears into the sand.
Like, this is the part where I just lay on the floor pretending to be dead.
I'll start running in circles.
Okay.
Here's your tail.
Yeah, not that kind of running in circles. That is also racist. We don't do that.
No, dogs do that, not cats.
For whatever
That's a
reason,
lie. I've
Irina.
seen you do that drunk.
No!
For whatever reason, it is not striking out. It is here. You can sense it. But it does not seem to be fooled.
Oh, wait, I can
Scorpion,
just...
my friend would like to ask you some questions.
I have an idea. It wants something. It's looking for prey, something to eat. I'm going to use insect plague over here to see if it'll try and pop up to eat them, because it creates insects going all over the place.
Is that cannibalism?
I think that's just the food chain for them.
Maybe.
Okay.
What if it's a vegetarian?
Well,
Is
it's
it
like that Eucarius' sister.
I'm pretty sure it eats people.
It's 20-foot radius.
Maybe it's had its own enlightenment.
So you cast Insect Plague, okay. All right. You cast Insect Plague, and you see once again this mound of sand approach it. And there's just a sort of small mound that appears to be just the tip of some sort of chitinous plate. It's so faint through the sand, though, whatever it is. And it just emerges just enough to perhaps have visual on the insect plague. And then suddenly you see the sand sift rapidly and delve back below again.
I think it's smart. It might be able to sense more than what we're giving it credit for.
Clever girl.
Or
the size of this thing, though, you gather. Well, you can't really get a good eye until you've seen the full thing, but the insects are like this big, and you imagine their pincers are like this big. Like, basically, you've just not. You can roll an intelligence check, Llewellyn.
Sure.
I mean,
Because it definitely saw the insects.
it kind of attacked when your sister went to go and pick up those rocks, right?
Well, my other thought was maybe it's awake, but maybe it doesn't hunt properly until nightfall.
But it was still almost daylight when we found your sister.
Was it?
Yeah.
No, it was dark. It was like she was out late, and it was the setting sun, so it was dusk.
Are there any heavy rocky areas in which there's a bit of shade?
Not really. This is mostly open desert. Off to the west, you can see that there is tall trees, but they're mostly gnarled and dead. But that's into the knoll territory.
Maybe we can try and fake it out. Is there any way that you can create a storm cloud? Because if you darken the area, it might mistaken it for being nighttime.
I could make it,
or at least cool enough to hunt.
I could make it foggy. You said.
What did you on intelligence? 16. Yeah, you gather that these insects are like such small fry. It's probably not even going to bother with them. They're like pathetic.
It wants something bigger.
Clearly. But when Carius let loose that explosion, it didn't seem. It seemed like it was like, whoa, this thing's dangerous. And when Irina went over there and flailed around, it didn't strike Irina, even though that seemed to be the most.
Flail around, damn it!
You had to flail, crawling, flailing. It looked like flailing because you rolled so low on your.
Yeah.
Your deception wasn't good enough, so you tried to make it look like crawling, but you ended up flailing.
Right.
Because this thing actually saw past your performance.
Right, so...
It knew that it knew that Irina was feigning being helpless.
So it last appeared like over near where the insect plague is. So
right.
Carius is going to sort of move over here. And what he's going to do is...
Whatever creature it is you're dealing with, you realize it is incredibly intelligent.
Yeah.
I have.
Because it is not just It is not just fallen for like, oh, I'm helpless. It literally knows how humanoids act. and when they're actually injured. Clearly, otherwise it would have struck Irina.
Where is my spell?
Trying to think if there's anything.
Right.
It also knows when it's potentially outmatched, because Carius let loose quite the thunderous blast.
Who wants to be the bait?
Carius just raised the hand, might as well.
Right.
You're going to polymorph me, aren't you?
Oh no, you need to be helpless. So, I am going to use feign death on you.
Now I think.
Okay. Carius will just sort of position himself roughly like near where you last saw it.
So gonna do the thing, ritually cast it on you, and you're gonna until you get up or move.
Yep, I will appear dead.
For a whole hour if you wanted.
Right, Carius is just gonna have a comatose nap.
Just gonna move away. Away.
All right.
And then
you're casting feign death, so he actually drops down onto the ground and goes unconscious.
And
is that right? Could you click into the actual chat, please?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, cool. They turn into a state that is indistinguishable from death. Yep. The target appears dead to all outward inspections. Target is blinded and
you actually have to touch me in order to break it.
Okay. Maybe I should be within 30 feet of you then.
No, be within 50 feet of me and take Carius's flying glaive.
Yes. Okay. Where's that distance? Yeah, that's perfect. Then. Because I'm going to need to wake you up.
Yep.
When you cast a spell, under the effect. And how long does it last? An hour?
Yep.
So yeah, you would need to dispel it in order to get rid of it.
You have resistance to all damage though.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
From psychic.
Okay, so Carius is laying on the ground, seemingly unconscious.
Yep.
And the rest of you, what do you guys do?
Chuck a rock at Carius.
Okay, but how far away are you staying? Like 50 feet?
Yeah, we're 50 feet and maybe 10 feet up.
Okay. All right. And Irina and Andy are hiding behind a dune, yeah? So roll me a stealth check for Irina and Andy, please.
I'll actually go over and join them, methinks.
Okay, roll a stealth check as well.
Beauty.
Okay.
Okay. So about 4 minutes go by. Nothing happens. And you're waiting here for it seems like a lifetime. I'd like everyone to make a perception check because you've lost eyes on this thing for some time now.
I can't because I'm cataleptic or whatever. Wow, Llewellyn.
Okay, Llewellyn. As you're looking forward, waiting for it to seemingly strike Carius, it has instead crept up. And the rest of you can... Let's see. Now, the rest of you don't notice this. Only Llewellyn. And only because you literally have eyes in the back of your head. Else, you wouldn't see this coming. But Carius remains motionless. However, the mound has crept up right behind you. And is about 40 foot away from you. 45, 40 foot?
Behind me?
Yes, behind you. You're standing out in the open.
I'm on a glaive.
Oh, you're on the glaive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so not making any tremors or anything. That's why he's 50 foot away from me rather than 30, so he can get to me in one turn still.
Well, looks like it's creeping up behind you. It's actually getting behind the rest of your party. I'm just seeing what you rolled in your stealth checks. Where are
Is
your
it?
stealth checks?
It was a
There they are.
14,
14,
13,
13.
and 10.
Okay, yep. So it definitely knows some of you are there. So the actual sand dune behind Irina and Andy and Kashan gets larger. There's a mound coming up behind them. But it stops, and you notice this. It does stop about 40 feet away from them.
Do I have
And
time
then
to do anything?
you do. It has stopped behind them.
I send a message to Irina
Okay.
saying, "Don't move," but it is behind you guys.
What is this Christmas panto?
It's behind you.
You get a response. Oh no, it isn't.
What would you do, Irina?
Oh yes, it is.
I know what I'd like to do. Whether
Yeah.
it will work or not is a whole other thing. Because obviously, Llewellyn's literally told us not to move, it's behind us, but I need to move in order to do this. So it's either going to make it run away or make it attack. So I'm literally going to very slowly start doing the hand gestures and sort of holding out a little bit of iron, and I'm going to cast Hold Monster.
Monster. Okay. You can hold monster, but because you can't actually see the creature, it's still completely submerged beneath the sand. But you can definitely try to wait for it. But this thing, you need to see eyes on it, don't you, for hold monster?
I mean, we can eat the dune, right?
That's just covered in
Okay,
sand.
then I won't bother. It's fine.
All right.
There's no point.
You need to see a part of the creature, and it has
that's
not
fine.
even emerged yet. All right. Okay, so you hold up. And it's a good job we didn't, because Llewellyn, you watch as the creature backs away again.
Hmm.
I can't make a comment at the moment, so.
Nope. You can all roll me new perception checks. I'm going to roll it. Oh. Good luck. Damn. Plus 13 coming in clutch.
I'm so confused.
I think it knows you're waiting, so possibly.
Yep, it knows it knows you're trying to ambush it.
So potentially your only way round this is for at least those three to leave. Or go further
We
away.
could just leave and come back another time.
Okay. So what you see is you've actually kept a good eye on it, Llewellyn. As it backed away, you just faintly see the simmer of sand go around a full 180 degrees and circles back around. It is now over here by about 40 feet away from Carius.
Oh.
No.
I send a new message saying it's on Carius. No.
It's interesting because it keeps being 40 foot away each time.
And it's about 4 more minutes. You wait for it to go all the way around, and it circles there.
It's been 8 minutes that I've been unconscious.
Carius, you are incapacitated.
Yep.
So we're gonna have everyone roll initiative. This is about to get ugly.
Oh, it just needed to be sure. It needed some time to make sure that you weren't just lying down. I see.
Oh no. It clearly fully knows that you've set up an ambush. Like, it knows 3 of you are hiding here.
Maybe it
It's
thinks
well,
it's
before it
picking up.
strikes, it does a full perimeter check, and it found you guys.
Perhaps it's making sure that there's no one else, and to see if it thinks it's strong enough to take our group.
Sorry, Foundry's frozen. I've just got to refresh the page.
Okay. I'm gonna get rid of this. Okay. All right. We are ready. So, once Andy and Irina roll, we can begin.
Would my thing be with me?
Your thing.
Familiar.
Not unless you've said, I want my familiar.
Oops. That probably would have been a good choice.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting that they can do touch spells.
Yeah.
You've got your mage armor, but that's the only prep you've done so far. Okay. It is...
Oops.
It's
Yeah.
not letting me roll initiative for some reason.
No, not even on the tab. On the combat tab.
No. It's not letting
Okay,
me
I'll
do
do it for
anything.
you. Okay. So you're 14, Andy's on 11. All right. At the beginning of the round, on initiative count 20, now knowing that you guys are hiding around there, let's see. Um, okay. It is going to unleash a tremor. The shockwave near you guys, you can feel it before you see it. The shockwave resonates near the sand in front of the dune that's there, and suddenly the dune just erupts and explodes. You don't feel any kind of force hitting you, but the actual amount of sand that gets kicked up in the air effectively creates a dust smoke screen and impairs your vision completely. So just put this down here. All right. So everyone here is going to give me a Constitution saving throw. So Andy, Irina, and Llewellyn.
What, sorry?
Constitution save.
How tall is it?
It's tall enough to hit the people who are hiding in the dune.
Oh.
Because you said Llewellyn and he's not hiding in the
Oh,
dune.
sorry, not Llewellyn.
Oh, okay.
Kishan, Andy, Irina. Just those 3. Okay, see what you got. Ooh, Irina. Just saved. Okay, good. You are perhaps just prepared for this because you've got your spell ready, waiting. You're able to shield your eyes just in time. The rest of your party, Andy and Kishan, completely blinded, just sand right in the eyes. And that's it. That's their lair action. Llewellyn, you're up. You see the mound is beginning to push forward towards Carius at an alarming speed. Doesn't feel like it's borrowing, it feels like it's lunging.
And I don't see any eyes popping up or anything.
No, you do not. You see it, the mound actually becomes like thinner and more like a pinpoint.
Okay. gonna.
But you don't see it yet.
Without touching the floor, I'm gonna go like within 5 feet of him and just dispel it.
Okay.
As
Alright.
as it's coming towards, so as it's
Sure.
going for the lunge.
Gotcha.
So that takes an action to actually.
It does. But at the very least, Carius is not going to be unconscious for this.
Nope.
Carius, you feel your eyes kind of shoot open. You're actually up first. What do you want to do?
I am going to. Second. I can't do that.
You want to try and remain.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to remain dead still, but I'm going to, as high a level spell as it is, I'm going to. Do I want to do that or do I want to do that? Yeah. I'm going to do my best to do exactly what Irina said they might do, and let's try to prepare a hold monster for if it comes visually.
Hey, old monster. That is about to go off right now as you see the pinpoint of sand rise up like a column. It starts to look like something is piercing the sands themselves. And as you see it rise up, it rears back. It is a long stinger. And look, it's even animated. It rises towards you and is about to strike into you. You can roll, or it can roll. Is it a wisdom save?
I will put it in the thing. I had targeted it, but it said.
And what's your save DC?
17.
It's 17.
Yeah, so that beats it. Unless it's got
That is
negative.
just a success. You're unable to kind of visualize the full creature. And as you try to like just hold on to this one thing here, this one stinger, you realize that it is just simply one appendage of a greater whole. And you're unable to paralyze the full thing.
That's fine.
Okay. It is going to strike. Does have advantage on Carius, but at least it won't be a crit.
Yep.
Because you're not incapacitated anymore. And as this happens, Llewellyn, you're in touch range, aren't you?
Yes.
Oh, okay. In that case, you'll see what happens in a second. For now,
Oh no. Oh
wow, I rolled a natural 19 for that. That was insane.
Okay.
With pinpoint accuracy, this thing strikes into you. Should be advantage, shouldn't it? Okay, definitely hitting. You take a nasty strike from the actual tail itself, which is
And in response, I want a
14.
dex save from it.
Okay.
Because I can see
Sure.
it and it's hit me.
All right then. You take 19 points of piercing damage,
Yep.
and I need you to roll a Constitution save.
Okay, this is against poison, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, I have advantage. Wow, even with advantage. But I'm resistant to poison, so there's that.
Ooh, I failed on the dex save.
So you take... I'm going to say 2d8 lightning damage in this case.
Yeah. You see the kind of chitinous armor seems to at first repel the lightning, but then you're able to sort of push it like your own stingers and shoot in between each seam in the armor. It did have lightning resistance. You just overcame that. So it takes 6 points.
Haha.
And it doesn't have a reaction now or something, right?
No, it's just
Oh, no, that's
just does damage.
just damage.
It's like a lightning or thunder based hellish rebuke.
Okay, gotcha. Karis, did you get a 13 in your con save? Not good. Okay. You take the full brunt of this thing's poison. and my god, what a potent poison it is.
Well,
This
good job. I
thing
take half.
seeps into your veins, and it almost immediately you get this kind of like shock through your system. You take 51 points of poison damage. Wow, I've rolled like 4
Yeah,
tens there.
that's halved. Because I
Okay.
have a belt of dwarven kind, so
You have resistance, yeah. Thank
Yeah.
God. All right. Otherwise, it would have been even nastier.
So half
Okay.
of 51, which is 26.
Alrighty. And because you failed by 5 or more, you are also paralyzed. It doesn't just end there. It's second attack. Llewellyn, you see a second stinger rise up, and you think, wait, how many has this thing got? Maybe there's 2 of them, but literally 2 strike straight towards you. So one to Harris, one to Llewellyn. And this thing is far more deadly than you initially realized. 29 to hit you, Llewellyn.
Yep.
Okay. I need you to roll a con save.
Okay. Oh no.
Oh boy.
Oh
You
no.
take- So what did I roll? 26 plus plus 5. You take 31 points of piercing damage and only 24 points of poison damage, but you two are also paralyzed.
So 31.
That is its full turn. However, you've just seen 2 large. The rest of you guys, well, only Irina actually. The others are blinded this round. Only Irina just manages to see past the whirl of sand. 2 stingers rise up and slam both of them to the ground. They're both paralyzed, and that's its go. Irina, what do you do?
Right. Obviously, I can see it now, right?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
you can see some of it, whatever it is.
I can't do that because that's going to hit both of them as. So let's not do that. All right. I'm going to. Yeah, I'm gonna try and cast Hold Monster on it.
Old monster. Okay.
At least that way we can try and get these guys out.
Natural 1. I am going to use the first legendary saving throw. It's a legendary save. It would have
No.
worked. And you sense both when you cast it, you see that both stingers lock up for a moment. At this point, you realize both stingers belong to a single creature. They are not 2 separate ones. But as you try to hold onto it, you feel something large and immense. And for a moment, you get a flashing image of its entire outline. It is gigantic. And it shifts in the sand, and 2 pincers seem to like push and break free of the spell.
Okay. What I'm gonna do. Don't know if it'll work in the same way.
Okay.
And I don't know if I can do it or not, but like seeing what this thing has just done to Llewellyn and Carius, and the fact that that has just failed. There is sand everywhere, and these guys are blinded. I'd like to yank Andy's hood over her head. The
Okay.
lights!
Sure.
Again! And then I will use my movement, grab Kashan by the tail, and just move a little bit out of the way of the sandstorm.
Okay, gotcha. I'll say you pull them away from it, out of the range of it. They are already beginning to kind of like rub their eyes, clear it, but they're still a bit dazed for this turn. And I think that's all your movement. Anything as a bonus?
No.
Okay, Andy, you're clearing your eyes, but you're blind for this round only. You still have an action and everything. You can move. You can feel Irina's grabbed a hold of you.
But does the cloak not activate when I pull her hood up? Or not?
Oh, the Normally, yes, but that'll be something they have to do as an action.
Oh,
I'll say you could do it, but it would be an action to do it.
either way, it'll stop the sand going in her eyes.
What I plan for Andy to do is she kind of like fumbles and gets the violin out, and she probably knows how to play with that blind, considering music and all that lot. She'll play the little ditty to cast fly on herself.
Fly on yourself. That's fine.
Yeah,
All right.
so I can get off the ground at least.
Do you want to go up 60 foot?
Yes, not
Okay.
60. She won't go up
Just
all the way.
30?
Probably only about 20
20
at
it is.
most.
Cool. All right. And you begin ascending into the air as you play this music.
That
Okay.
music.
Your eyes are clearing, but not fully yet. Kashan, you're up. You're also blinded.
Great. I don't really have anything to do while I'm blind.
You can still move and act, but
Well, be disadvantage most attack.
yes, if you knew where the creature was.
So first thing I'll ask is, where is it? Do I really know?
I sort of south west.
Yeah, southwest.
I'm literally gonna like grab Kashan by the shoulders and point him in the right direction and just say there.
Yep. Give him a pat.
And then
Sure.
Just kind of give a slap back.
and considering obviously my eyesight,
Yes.
I'm gonna be like, all right, just run about 100 feet
My goodness. Sure.
in that direction.
Okay.
It's fine. He's immune to poison, right? He can just neutralize it. He's fine.
Oh,
I
that's
don't have to
very
worry about
true.
Kashan. I know this.
Cool. Okay, Kachan, you run. You kind of kick over one of the dunes, but you keep going. You know you haven't gone 100 foot yet. You then feel something heavy and slumped on the ground as you kick it. You've kicked it very many times before. You know this is probably Llewellyn.
Fine.
And something else attached to him, pulling out of his sternum, is something large, hard, and it is moving up. But you can try to punch it. Go ahead, yeah. Disadvantage.
Yes, that's all fine. So yeah, I'll attempt at thwacking. 16.
16 is a miss. You hit it, but it feels like you just punched a rock. You're like, that thing is hard.
Or maybe the soft thing on the ground is the creature.
Feel sand. You can only feel sand beneath your feet.
Okay.
Oh, that'll do it though. Okay, this time
Okay.
you kind of go for the underside near, instead of the chitinous armor on top, you kind of go uppercut, which is dangerous because you're like near the point.
It's
You
my
do hit it.
staff.
Okay. Oh yeah, your staff. Cool. All right, roll damage. Oh, 10 bludgeoning. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, although you don't see it, you can feel the shifting and the tremors beneath your feet. Definitely felt like you got hurt.
And I'm just gonna bonus action one more punch.
Okay.
Biff. 15.
15. You just whiff. Don't even hit anything. Just the air this time.
I'm just like,
Okay. At the top of the round, you're no longer blind. You kind of, with that one swing, you end up like getting the sand out of your eyes, and as you come up and into cleaner air, the wind catches your hair, sifts the sand out of it. But instead of
Kashan's literally suddenly just kind of like, ooh, cat toys.
okay, let's see.
I just noticed a spider in.
As you're on top of it, the layer action is going to be directed on top of you, Kashan. I need you to make it's going to knock back effect, so I'm going to go with strength saving throw.
21.
21. Wow.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Okay.
It just tries to move me up. It's like, no.
Yeah, just when your vision comes back is when you feel a massive swing of something come towards you, but it's not like trying to hit you. It just feels like it's pushing you back, and you dig your staff into the sand and manage to avoid getting knocked back at all. Yeah, you kind of like take the full brunt, which is good. And what you would have seen is it's a huge pincer, and it was the back of one sort of slamming into you. Afterwards, it reaches forward and is going to go for Llewellyn and Carius, but Llewellyn, you're up first. You can roll a con save at the end of your turn. See if you overcome the paralyzing.
Not at the start of my turn.
No, at the end of your turn, I'm afraid.
Oh,
You're missing a go on this one. Dangerous. You're still paralyzed, I'm afraid. The venom is incredibly potent.
Ooh, +3.
No, you're not a
Wrong
paladin.
character.
Okay. Same with Carius. Another con save. Your advantage. Yes. Oh, no. Whatever this thing is, it has evolved to be the apex predator in the sands, and this poison just holds you still.
just like trying to push up, and I'm like, no, I'm just gonna lie here. You got this, Kashan.
Okay, it is its go. And the pincers have retracted. They're sort of still in the air, but they're kind of down into the sand a bit. This time, two huge pincers reach up and grip onto both Llewellyn and Carius. But I've still got a roll to hit.
I was about to say persuasion. Sentinel.
You can definitely sentinel, yeah. Go ahead.
Whack. 17.
Just a miss, I'm afraid. Kind of whack onto the pincers, and you just see it's incredible shell armor.
Are we
Just
taking
completely
flanking
almost-
into effect?
Flanking. Well, they're unconscious. Well, they're paralyzed, aren't they? So they can't really pose as a. If they were potentially up on their feet, maybe. I'm
But he's
gonna
flanked
do.
with Irina and Andy.
If they were closer.
Like, they have reach. So does he. Totally flank.
Not that far. Okay. So that one's on Carius. That's a hit. And that one's on Llewellyn. 17. Yeah, it hits. Even with mage armor, right? Okay.
Can't use shield because
Can't use your actions, yeah. It's quite a nasty situation to be in. So
I'm a down this turn.
not necessarily. Yep, that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Oh no.
So I'm gonna just roll for both of you. 18 points of bludgeoning. Oh, sorry, it'd be bludgeoning damage because the pincers are crushing you. Yep. And I'll put that down.
I've done mine.
There you go. Llewellyn's still alive, barely. Both of you are grappled and restrained, and it's at this point it's going to use its full movement to bore into the ground
Oh no.
and start to move away. Yep.
No.
Llewellyn disappear. The two tails also disappear. Where is this mound?
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
Well, technically you can breathe, so you're not going to suffocate.
You see which direction it moves before it's going to use its final bonus action to try and make stealthy checks.
Oh no, it's a rogue.
It goes underneath one of these dunes and disappears. But that's its full action. Back to Irina. You lose sight of it.
Yeah, kind of gathered that.
That's not good.
It's all the rough direction, but
This is how my character dies after the dragons. This will be very annoying.
Hmm.
We just like high five each other and go,
Yep. Wow.
At least we got your story.
Yeah, you finished my
I
arc.
need to roll a d6.
What?
Oh,
Right,
boy.
I suppose I should start working on a new character whilst I'm waiting.
Good lord.
Okay. Right. I can't see it, but I can see which way it kind of went before it disappeared.
Yes.
Okay.
Carius has all the money. Carius has
What?
the 5
You
grand on
bastard.
him, and it's just been taken by the scorpion.
What?
Carius had. Irina gave Carius the 5
Oh, the
grand.
money.
The thing.
Yeah, he's got 6,000 gold on him. I want to go get that.
Okay.
That's
They're
funny.
not unconscious, are they? Carius and Lavellan. They're just paralyzed.
Right.
Not damn it, but because if I do this,
And-
it could kill you. So I can't do
And
it.
they're restrained. as
This
well.
is fine. If it gets the creature and our money back, then that's all fine.
Yes.
It's a sacrifice I am willing to make.
Are you sure about that?
I'm probably. I may be I don't know what you're planning to do, but I may be resistant to it.
I don't think you are.
I don't know. Is it lightning, thunder, fire, or poison?
It's damage, whatever it is. Damage you probably can't afford.
What's Lavellan got?
Not much.
Oh my
So
lord.
it could very well kill him, so I can't.
But it could knock him unconscious. It won't outright kill him.
Yeah, I doubt you can do
I mean, Lavellan may
80
pass it.
damage. You'd need to do 80 damage to kill him.
Alright, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, do it.
I can see the general area, and I don't need a visual on the monster to do this, so...
What's happening?
Synaptic
static.
static.
What
Oh,
Yeah.
that one. Okay, cool.
Damn it, I'm not resistant to that one.
Okay, intelligence save.
I know it's a smart creature, but it's the only thing I can do right now!
Intelligence
Tell you
save
what.
class as well.
Did it have a template to place?
I don't know.
Well, it should, but I'm just asking. It's a 20-foot radius, right? Was it? Okay, cool.
Beats the 40.
Give you the option to draw this out. Because of the chance if you actually don't hit them. So if you go to the ruler tool, you should be able to draw one of these out. It's a 20-foot radius sphere. Allow you to place it wherever you like.
Oh no, that sucks. I'm looking in the I don't know what direction it went.
You saw it in the
Yeah,
southeasterly
Irina
direction.
did. I didn't. That's
The,
not fair.
the last place you
It
saw it was like here-ish, I think.
I'm gonna with the hints that have been given so far, you should know roughly where it is.
Do you know what? Just
No.
kill him. Just kill him. It'll be fine.
I can
But I may not even hit them.
I can take this Lavellan Calm.
There's an advantage to this, and that is the chance that you don't hit Carius and Lavellan. That's why I want you to see.
How do I do this? I can't. Where is it?
So the ruler tool, just the second one down, measurement controls,
Okay.
and then there's a circle.
Yeah.
And,
I've got that.
Then you click on a point wherever you want to center it, and then just drag out from that point.
Okay, hold on. What's the
Dun, dun,
120 feet? Hold on.
That's a 20-foot radius, so 40 foot across, basically.
Which one's the actual ruler, right?
I'll measure that out. 120 foot, you said.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. There's a guide for you.
Okay. I don't know. Over here.
Right there. Cool. You literally clicked Carius. That's amazing. All right. In that case, then I need both of you to roll an intelligence save.
literally centered it on Carius.
Yeah, you pinged his token. I was like, wow, okay.
Oh
Going
no,
straight-
how sad. Never mind.
There
To
is.
be fair, there's a big empty space here with nothing in it, and then there's a bunch of these rocky crystals, so I just picked that.
Yeah. That is unfortunately exactly where they are. But that's good. It means you got the creature. There was just a chance that you didn't hit them, but nope. Seems like you're centering on Carius's mind, and yeah.
He's
it
got
to-
my money, damn it.
Right, so that puts me
Yeah,
down to
sure.
exactly 1 HP.
Wow. Okay. And then
No, this is good because it means he's still awake.
Nothing
Llewellyn,
will eat him.
I need you to also give me
he's
an
awake.
intelligence.
I'm just down. I'm down.
Oh, you are. Sorry. Yeah. Oh wow, I rolled a 2. Pathetic. Okay.
Pathetic.
Yeah, I've a rather a
Um,
4 with its total. Hmm.
it minuses
Right.
a d6 to all its attacks as well.
It does.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah. Okay. Well played. That sees the creature like a tremor suddenly erupts, and the tails kind of like flail for a moment before pulling back down, and it has taken a whopping 25 psychic damage.
Does it throw Carius and Llewellyn out as it does
It-
this?
Does not. It's still got a firm grip on them.
I was hoping it would
But-
think it was because of them. I'm allergic to these ones!
It's definitely injured, but you've got a much better idea of where it is as well. But nonetheless, I'll leave the mound here for you. There you go. Andy, it is your go.
We want to kill this thing, right?
Yes!
You
But
could
alright.
do three birds, one stone.
I mean, her hood is technically already up. She's gonna grab one of the stars and shoot.
Okay. Magic missile requires that you see the target as well, doesn't it?
Damn.
Hmm. It is
Yeah.
borrowed under the ground, I'm afraid.
I don't know what else she can do.
Oh my god, it's actually really subtle.
Well, you can see it.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. Designed to be there.
I think it's the positioning. that
Where's my snipping tool? Let's go.
Wait, what?
it's
Okay,
the
well
it's the
then,
positioning of it and where we are considering the shapes.
can she fly forward enough to get within 60 feet of the mound?
Yes.
Okay. Then
You
if she
can do
can
that.
do that, she will cast Cloud of Daggers.
I'm surprised. Oh, you can see hidden tokens, can't you? Oh, that
Cool.
was pointless.
Already,
I can, yeah.
Oh, you've got it
Never
there.
mind. I thought you guys would disappear when I did that. Never mind.
No, I think it's because we own the tokens. I think if we were just
Yeah,
like
there is
one-
There is a setting to do that.
so
Anyway, sorry.
the mound was here?
About there.
Yeah, it is right here. Yeah.
Oh, that was a bit of a delay.
Okay. All right. Slashing damage. Interesting. Silver of glass. So it rolls a dex.
you know, in my
No save.
nope,
There's no save.
no, it's just if it's in the area.
Okay.
Though
Which is now.
I sort of like the idea that the synaptic static turn some of the sand to glass because it's like almost like psychic electricity, and that's what's being manipulated into the daggers.
Indiana Arena picked up loads of the glass that Carius created
Yeah.
of the sand.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm.
Got those because we used it on Chad's harp as well.
Yeah, that is true.
All right. So this whirling shards of glass and daggers emerges and then sinks into the sand where that mound is. You can hear the sounds of like blade on chitin repeatedly, and you dealt a decent slashing, 18 slashing damage to it. All right. Okay, that's good. Kashan, you're up.
Cool. So, I saw where the daggers landed, didn't I?
Yeah, you can see them as a token on the actual map.
Gotcha.
Mind your feet on that bit.
Okay. uh. Okay. Why is my speed 0 feet?
Because you never filled it in, I think.
I did on the other sheet. Should have came in with the import. Anyway, cool. So as I'm slightly out of reach, so I'm assuming the mound starts where the cloud of daggers is.
Well, the
Probably
thing
a
is
big
massive.
creature.
It's massive, yeah.
Yeah, you could also
Oh.
bonus action step of the wind for that extra bit of distance if you wanted.
No, I
I'll
don't know.
tell you, you're in range of the mound anyway.
Oh, okay. In that
The mound-
case,
Quite big.
I will pull out my stuff and I'm just going to try and jam it into the ground, as I did with the dragons.
Okay, go ahead. You can make attacks with disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
Yeah.
Oof.
That's natural one.
Yeah.
You slam down into sand, find nothing, try to like rearrange it, see if you can strike again.
I go to strike the ground and I just get my foot.
What? The tail.
Yeah.
I'm just glad you're not a bit further over. You might have accidentally hit one of us.
That's a hit.
Sweet.
That's a good hit.
Cool. See, I don't want to waste my.
It's currently got reduced on certain saves, so.
I was going to say I want to try a stunning strike.
Okay.
Just because at least then I'll know.
Yep.
How hard
Okay.
it is.
Well,
fuck it,
that's why I'm
go.
gonna roll just a d20, and it failed. So I'm immediately gonna use a legendary resistance. That's 2 burn.
Oh, you bastard!
But still, that's 2 burn. That's good.
That is 2 burn. But
Yes.
I don't like what he says because I reckon that's got at least a 10, 15.
I mean, it's
Does
attack.
get minus a d6 to his rolls.
I
On
know.
attack
I was
rolls
gonna
and
do
bonus
that if
checks.
it was a pass,
Gotcha.
but it was so low.
Yeah, and
even-
it's. We know it's got a plus 13 to attack. So
In that
it's
case,
probably
I will-
strength based.
Bring up my fist and go down for. In fact, I kind of flatten out my hand and go for like a jab into the sand.
Okay. Again, disadvantage, but you can see the creature somewhat in there. 17's barely a miss. Afraid.
Yeah. Oh, you should have. Oh no, never mind. We're good. Okay. So I
You
just
good?
kind of wait.
Okay. All right. That is your go. We're back to the top of the round with its lair action again. Okay. All right. We're going to do something weird and wacky. I'm going to roll a D10,000.
Oh no!
Yep.
The thing.
Around you, yeah, Ishan, you start to see the weird chitin like rumble for a moment, hover into the air, and then fall down. Like all of it, even the malt, kind of surrounding the desert.
It's doing.
And we're just going to activate a wild surge.
It's doing a D10,000 wild surge. This could be bloody
Yeah.
anything.
It would be literally anything. I'm just going to find my tables. Here
This
we
is
go.
where it like brings out Tarask or something by accident. It just summons one into existence, and we all just like, well,
It could. I mean, anything's possible with this. All right.
all player characters get healed to
Oh.
10 times their max HP.
That was a lot.
That's a high one.
Was
Yeah. I don't know if that's good or bad.
It instantly dies. We win.
9,936.
You can imagine
Oh.
this is having got an extra stinger.
The climate within 60 yards becomes tropical, like a jungle. Awesome. So it starts raining incredibly heavy. Yeah, it's like I'm gonna go with like a heavy jungle rain. This mist suddenly appears in the air after the chitin flies into the air and then lowers. As it lowers, it just starts pouring down with rain. Yeah, and it feels like this kind of humid atmosphere has just replaced that desert hot wind. Okay, that was interesting, but didn't help much. Llewellyn, you're still paralyzed. Roll me a con save.
He's unconscious, so death save.
Oh yes, sorry, death saving throw for you. One fail. Carius, you're up. Roll me a Constitution save.
Come on.
Natural 20. Carius, you come to consciousness, and you realize your lungs are filled with a bit of dust and sand.
All right.
You cough that shit out, and you look around. It is pitch black in here, but you can feel this intense pain wrapped around your abdomen. It is crushing you alive down here.
As I got a nat 20, do I get anything special for that on the save?
A nat 20 for the it's at the end of your turn, but
Oh, I was hoping it might give me a chance to do something. Wasn't going to be much, but
not in this particular instance. But you can probably call out. You can probably use your voice at this point,
yeah.
and you've got your full reaction now at the
Yeah.
very least.
Karis is just like, ow!
Kishan, just ahead of you, you can see a bit of sifting to the sand, and maybe a muffled. You can maybe hear a muffled sound beneath it. But Karis is barely alive. Okay, it is the creature's go. Proving to be a nuisance, Kishan.
Yes,
I think it's gonna
go for the cat.
I think I will, because that stunning strike is dangerous. I'm gonna have its two large tails once again emerge right next to you.
Disadvantage.
With us on the end?
No, these are the tails. You're held in the pincers.
Oh, okay. Right, so how many tails does it have?
Well, we
Okay.
don't know. If it's like the
Sean?
creature I know of, it might have 8.
Goes for 2 attacks, but yes, you have got your displacement cloak equipped. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay then, let's do this. Well, it could have been a crit, but your quick movements managed to evade the stinger impaling directly into your forehead. Instead, slams down into your shoulder. Okay. Meow indeed. You only take 3d8 plus 5. That's piercing damage. And then I need you to...
And don't worry about that, because imagine being immune.
Yeah, this instant you see the poison filtering into your body, you focus, breathe deeply, and repel the poison from your system.
I'm sorry,
This
please
has
have
no
mercy.
effect on you. The second tail does go for a strike in that same instance and rolls a 15. So it slams down into the earth right next to you. The sand,
It's like, dang, that didn't work.
yeah, like, it's just throwing a tantrum at the ground. Ooh.
No, it would be a hit. Because my
Would it?
displacement, because it hit me last turn. On that last.
Oh, right, you're right. So it would have been. You're correct. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
then.
so it would have been well over.
Yeah, you do take 21 points of piercing damage. It is going
Fine.
to move away from you, provoking an attack of opportunity.
Let me just sort my health. Unless it's already minus a 21. I don't think it has.
I've not done it yet. No, I've not done any automation. All right, yeah.
Done.
Go ahead.
Cool. Sorry. Attack of opportunity.
Yes. It tries to pull its
Fine.
limbs back into the ground. Ooh,
Is
that's
a
not
30 a hit.
It's good. 8
And
points
I'm
of
gonna get
bludgeoning
a
damage.
con save.
Right, con
But
save.
this time I think it's gonna be a bit.
Yes,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
time
that-
it manages. It's as it's pulling into the ground. You haven't got a chance to strike it. It's vital.
Oh, D8.
Definitely-
Sorry, D6.
Oh yeah, my bad. The D6.
Is it gonna matter with a 15 save though?
Down to a 15, and then yes, it has got some constitution to add to that.
Down.
Down to 13, isn't it?
Yeah, it'd be down to a 13, but I doubt it's only got a +2.
His DC is 15. It's got more than +2 on the con save.
Yeah, but
So
it. Yeah.
regardless, you definitely got a good hit in, and what you would see is the tail kind of like snap slightly, like it's dislocated, and it pulls itself down into the ground once again. Oh boy.
As a quick question, as it's like sort of moved about moved sand about, can I see any sign of the sky? Or outside the sand, or is it pitch black still?
Just yeah, you can even feel wet on your face as the sand is being soaked.
Perfect. As long as I can see.
Okay. Well, it's gone back down into the earth now.
Yeah.
So 5, 10. Now, the thing is, the sand is wet. He's not used to moving in this environment. So I'm going to say he kind of has a bit of a struggle trying to bore back down into the earth. It's kind of like sluggish and heavy sand. But he has moved away from the cloud of daggers. Aris and Llewellyn, you are still both under that sand as well. Irina, you're up.
The wet sand make it easier to see where the mount has gone, because it makes sand sort of thicker.
Yeah, it does. I'll say that you can just about make it out. Round about here.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna fire some Eldritch Blasts at the mound.
Okay. You have disadvantage for these, but
That's
go ahead.
fine. I get that. That's cool.
Pew pew.
Yeah, pew pew. Oh, sorry. How did it? No, it didn't roll disadvantage. Hang on. It's
Control.
control. So I'm just gonna. So it's a 15 on the first one.
Okay, that is a miss. Strikes
Second
into a bit of the
one-
soggy sand. Ooh, what? That's keep highest.
Ah,
That was keep. That was keep highest.
I hit control. That's what you told me to hit.
I thought it was
It's
control.
different on a Mac.
Oh, bad.
Yeah, Mac keyboard. So it would have been
Oh,
a
one.
nat one for that one, I'm afraid.
Okay,
On the
that's
second
fine.
beam.
I'm just gonna do it
3
like
beams.
that. So it's a 13. So none of them hit. All right,
Afraid not.
that's me
You
done.
keep trying to track its movements, but the sand just keeps on kicking up. I'm afraid. It is Andy's go.
Well, the cloud of daggers is still active, because of course it's a concentration.
Indeed, but it has moved away from it.
Yeah, I'm just.
You
trying
could
to-
always recast it again.
Yeah, I can't move it, can I?
No, unfortunately not.
No. Very annoying.
It's kind of come closer to where I am now,
Around this area.
but I still can't see it. Okay,
Well,
well,
just see the sort of mound of sand.
cloud of daggers it is again then.
Okay, that works.
Can't do her.
Can roll damage.
rolls. Yeah. Do it again at 4th level.
Okay.
You need to place it for the damage
doing
hit.
it.
Down to 20.
18 points slashing damage. Ooh. You can see the mound suddenly like sort of judders in the ground as all these daggers suddenly sink into it. Like it's become an Iron Maiden for it. But yeah, you can probably even see in amongst the wet sand is sort of signs of purplish liquid, which you can only assume to be its blood. It's any movement for you, or are you good up there?
I am pretty good floating in the air.
Yeah, cool, Kishan.
Balloons
Okay.
and all.
Yep.
I am Superman.
First thing, can you quickly try something for me, Steph?
Yes.
Could you quickly try hold command and click one
No,
of your...
because I don't have a Mac keyboard, so I cannot do that.
Okay, never mind. I was just like,
Yeah, I didn't get on with the Mac keyboard that I had. It was hurting my wrists. So I've got a
okay.
temporary keyboard until I can get a new one that doesn't hurt my hands.
Gotcha.
I mean, this
Okay.
one works pretty fine.
Yeah, it just doesn't have the command key, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
It's also an American keyboard, which is annoying.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Your turn,
I shall charge in once again. Say, "Will you stop moving away?" And
Give me back my friends.
I want to try something, but I very doubt it will work, and it would take my act.
Do it anyway.
Okay, screw it. So, place my bow staff on my back, and I'm going to pull out Cheney Dave,
Okay.
a weapon I have not used in a long time,
Oh, I know why.
and
Yes.
I'm just going to spin it round, and as it comes up, I'm going to slam it down into the ground as hard as I can, and I don't want to try dealing damage.
You
I
want to
want to
try
try
and
Match,
and
I'll do
wrestle. I want to try and wrestle this thing out of the ground.
All right. You can do that right now if you want, and
Yeah,
you
I'll
would
give
just
it a
have
go.
disadvantage on the check.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work,
On
you
the-
can
on
go
the roll.
sand surfing at least.
That's very true. That's still a 23 though.
Yeah, that's a hit. Okay.
Oh, but it has to make a D. Oh wait.
The target must succeed on a strength save.
Or be knocked
And-
prone.
We knock prone, but if you choose to roll and deal damage, you can use an action to grapple, and use 10 foot of your movement to pull a creature towards you 5 feet.
So out of the sand.
So let me just roll the strength save first. It definitely passed.
Yeah, I would.
But let's see. If you choose to roll and deal damage, you can use an action to make a grapple. On a success, you can also use.
Oh, so it would just be a grapple check, so a contest. Athletic, I assume.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be contested. I'm trying to
'Cause
read
it's
what
just-
I've made for this.
The basic
Oh,
so
it's
you,
just a
you
grab.
can you
Okay.
can choose it as a trip attack, or you can choose to do damage and make a grapple by sacrificing a second attack. I think so. It's like you could, if you've got extra attack, you do the first attack to hit, then the second attack to grapple. I think.
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense now. Okay, so you hit it, and rather than dealing damage, you try to effectively trip it and wrap it around. If you want to then use your action to make a grapple, sorry, not an action, but your second attack, your extra attack, then you can effectively what you wanted to do was latch onto it
Oh,
and
okay,
pull
okay.
it. Okay.
Yeah, I'll do
so
that then.
all right, let's go ahead. Let's roll off.
Roll off 1, 2. Time.
After you.
Ew.
It's
Not
probably-
good.
It's probably got pretty good.
Not better.
But it's a strength.
minus
But
6?
yeah, it's a minus a d6 because it's an ability
Oh,
check.
no.
Cool.
Really?
Come on, roll high.
Break my balls here. Oh my god.
So that brings it down to
As you'd imagine, it has got
2,
quite a lot of strength. It's got a 5 in strength. 5 in strength.
which makes it a tie.
So it would have been a 10, reduced to.
It would have been a 10,
7.
reduced to 7, which makes it a tie.
Which makes it a tie, which means it is.
Oh, come on. Because of how bold it was.
It's a clever idea. I'll say this. If you've got a bonus action to do. Was it Flurry of Blows?
Yeah.
Then I'll count those as 2 more chances to do this.
Alright. Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, cool.
Even
All right,
if you-
roll the next athletics check.
You can get me above ground. I can do stuff.
Oh, sorry, I'm rolling as you. Huh.
Oh, that's one. Okay.
no. It feels like you've latched onto something, but it's wrestling and pulling back down. You reckon you might have got onto its tail as you just see this thing ripping up for a second and then pulling back down. This time, you actually get pulled into the ground and like you're like eating sand for a second, but you've got one more chance to pull it out.
All right, let's do this. Come on.
I'll roll a d6.
Oh, if he rolls low
No.
enough. He's rolled a
Uh,
-5, which brings it down to 8.
I got 13.
Which
Ah,
brings
just
yours
13.
down. Oh, yeah, 18, which brings you down. So, yeah, unfortunately.
damn it.
It was a valiant attempt, but not quite strong enough to make full use of this damn whip. This chain is latched onto it though, and you feel like you could probably just hold it and see where it goes now, but you're going to be dragged along rather than you dragging it out.
Could
That
I
was
do
gonna-
like sand surf?
Pretty
I was
much.
just imagining it in my head, to be fair.
Yeah.
Llewellyn, need you to roll a death saving throw.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Two fails down here. Not good.
That's
have
nice,
Concentration. Random.
Right.
Because technically my body does the constant.
The constitution, so you're still trying to fight the poison unconscious.
Gotcha.
Like a sickness.
Carius.
Right. So, can I see the surface at all?
If you use some...
Because I'm restrained. Could I sort of try to use my movement to sort of get my glaive and just sort of poke a hole in the thing so I can see the surface?
You got reach in your glaive.
Yeah.
Hmm. I'm not gonna be sure if it'll poke enough vision for you. You can poke your sword up, but when you do that, the sand just kind of pulls in around
Right,
it.
okay, we'll do this the other way. So I still have that. Okay, we're going to play with sorcery points. So, first thing we're going to do, we're going to quicken with 2 sorcery points to quicken gust. So I'm going to blow a huge gap above me.
That'll do it. Definitely enough. With
And then
using magic to blast the sand out of the way, you get open sky.
And then
but it's weird. It's like you see rain clouds for some reason.
And then for my action, let's see if I can get it and us above the ground with scatter.
With scatter, and you want to target as many creatures as you
I'm
can. up to
targeting
5.
myself, Llewellyn, and the creature, and I'm going to basically try to get us all to the surface.
Interesting. Okay, let's see if it fails on
Myself
a
and Llewellyn will get there regardless.
wisdom saving throw. It rolled a 19.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a natural 19. But Llewellyn is just unconscious, so you can have him immediately flow wherever you'd like him. Flung him.
So, I'm just going to sort of fling him over there, and as I sort of come out, just sort of probably landing next to him as well myself, because I've teleported out, and just be like, medic for him.
Okay. The strangeness of this creature, the fact that you don't really know its full form, is unable to rip it out of its sand. You always feel like it's using its pincers to suddenly dig in and grip.
Yeah, I should have thunderstepped instead and done some damage to it as I teleported, but I was trying to get it so everyone could see it, at least for a turn.
But what I will say, with that gust, as you push out a huge amount of the sand, is everyone sees the 2 large pincers, and just enough to see its face, of which it has chitinous armor around what looks to be like 3 mouths, all kind of like pushed against one another. And these mandibles kind of like stretch out, try to snap at you before you disappear. So its head and its pincers are kind of visible right now. All right. That's your action and go. Do you want to use any movement as well?
I'll use half my movement to stand up so that I'm not prone, and then I'll just sort of move sort of in front of Llewellyn, sort of thing. I know it could still get us both, but I'm going to try to be defensive.
Okay, cool. That will go down to Did I forget a layer action? Yeah, I did forget a layer action. Okay. You know what? Do another. Hmm. We're gonna do another blinding sand. This time on you, Kashan. Can you roll me a con save, please?
Gotcha. Gone save. 16.
A 16 for the layer action is actually a pass. So you see the sand. This time you managed to cover up your eyes just in time. Okay. That is its layer action. Karis is done. Its go. Okay, it's pissed. It's just had its 2 meals suddenly ripped away from it. It is finally going to emerge. This
Oh.
creature is pretty large. It's going to be on the scale of gargantuan. Earth begins to kick up next to you, Kashan. This massive amount
Gargantuan.
of ground just emerges. And after that, you see the creature in its full. It seems like almost crystalline armor. With its kind of purple sheen to it. You'd think it was coated in like magical rocks, but it's clearly hardened it over however many generations just by molting and molting till it's now like hardened magical barriers between it and its soft flesh. It has 2 tails that are split at the back of its body, and one of them looks very dislocated, like bent and off on one angle, and the rest of its body is riddled with daggers, which are just bleeding out like this purplish blood over it. I ain't got a great image.
Very quickly, is it arachnophobic warning? Or is it kind of like...
No, it's not bad.
I put an image
Okay,
of
that's-
something with 8 tails in the chat. It's not quite hit.
I can't find a good image, but this is close enough as I'm going to use for now. Looks like Skarner. That's the best. It looks
okay,
like
no,
Skarner.
fine.
Yeah, if anything, Skarner is the best comparison to this. For those who don't know, it's like a crystalline scorpion. But
Nice.
yeah. All right.
Oh, okay.
Let me stick him here. Alrighty. Yeah, so instead of like one big bulky tail, it's got like 2 large pincers. And yes, just like you said, James, it's kind of like 8 tails.
Yeah.
All right. With it fully emerged now, I need to roll to see if it recharges those tails. It's only got so much poison.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I've rolled 2 6s for this thing. Right. Tails it is. Kishan, it's going to go straight for you. Your armor is...
Disadvantage.
Yeah, it's back up, isn't it? Okay. And one last question. Do I still minus d6s on these?
Yep, on attack rolls, yeah.
Arr.
Attack rolls and
Okay.
ability checks and...
Alright, let's do this then. That's an equation.
That's going to be a miss.
Oh, is it?
Oh, wait,
18?
you rolled a d6 as well? Ah. Okay.
I did
no.
do the d6 in there, yeah. I've
Yeah,
made
never
a
mind.
little calculation. And I'll do it again with its second tail. Damn,
Yeah.
it got double 18s. Okay. Looks like Ishan, your allies are in a safe place. Now you're taking the brunt. Thankfully, still being immune to this poison, you only take 28 and then 18.
So 35. Oof, that hurt. Very much hurt.
But now you've got no disadvantage on it, so...
Mhm.
+5 to each of those. So that's an extra
Oh,
10.
okay.
So you're on 22 now. This thing's terrible strength
what?
is apparent. Yeah, it's got +5 to each roll because it's like natural strength.
So...
Hang on, I think I know.
After that, it is going to. What I should have done is use some pincers.
But you didn't.
Oh, +5 to the damage. I was about to say.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. It is not going to leave your range, but it is going to maneuver around you, almost like scuttling like a crab. It's able to maneuver sideways around you and is skirting your sight here.
Gotcha.
Okay, that's it. Let's just go. Irina. Sorry?
This thing emerges from the ground and she literally just screams in horror. She's like, ah! And she's just firing away. She's
Pew, pew,
Yeah.
pew.
do not like.
Hey, you wanted to study this thing.
I was wrong. That's 1, 2.
That's a hit. So suddenly, Irina's fear is able to
Then he
focus her attack.
explodes.
That's 3 attacks. Yeah, all hit, and boom. You carefully concentrate on containing the explosion so it doesn't hurt Kashan. The resulting fieriness. Let me see. Got some little filters for this.
Turns the
Yay.
sand to glass around it.
So it begins sparking from the first, then it just erupts in fire, and then finally explodes, leaving nothing but bits of smoke around its body. And for a moment, hoping it's not moving and dead. But what you see instead is where you've hit it, you've probably shot off one of the tails. As the tails like explodes in gore, you suddenly see emerging from its stump 2 conjoined and what look to be like wrapped up like in a helix, 2 more tails. They untwine and then suddenly emerge. They look fresh. They don't look like they've got as hard
Oh
a
my god,
armor
it's
as
a
the other 2,
Hydra Scorpion.
but it has now got 3 tails. Yes,
Well,
steaming and smoking. This creature turns around, makes this horrible chittering sound, but it's still alive. Andy, you'll go.
Yeah, well, she can see it now, so out comes the starry arrows.
Okay.
Do it.
Yeah, can't dodge him.
do you
Oh,
have-
wait. Can do something.
you gotta hope because I can get you up on your turn. But...
Wasn't it?
Yeah, and make sure you untick the box.
Yeah. Doesn't seem it.
Plus 6?
Yeah, plus
And
6,
we
so
share.
21.
21.
Anyone?
Okay, it's looking very, very injured. The stars know where to find their mark each time, probably impacting where a dagger has already struck, and just boom, explodes the dagger into light,
She's gonna
leaving cracked
fly
shell.
back a little bit as well.
Fly it back a little, alright.
Yeah.
No problem. Still remaining 20 feet in the air. It is back around to you, Kashan.
So, I have 2 options. Heal or fight.
Oh.
Stun it.
It's very true. First attack. Fight.
Yeah.
28.
Yeah.
Con save.
-6.
Fail.
No, I rolled a 6.
You rolled a D. You rolled a D.
I rolled a D.
You rolled a
Sorry.
D20 minus. Oh, you.
Let me
By
try
the
again. Let me
way,
just roll the D6. Fuck. Panicking. Okay,
there's
so I
a
still
minus-
failed.
Still fail.
Still failed. I'm going to use the last legendary resistance.
Excellent.
This is fine. 17. That's a miss.
That is
No,
just
that
barely.
for a fact. Flurry of blows. Let's go.
Okay. It brings up its
26.
feathers, where you can like jump up and smack onto the top of where its eyes are.
I kind of like get my knee to its face in between its pincers.
Oh,
And con save.
no, not like this. D20. I'll do a minus
Alright.
D6 this time.
Two.
What?
Oh, yeah! Let's
another
go! Let's go!
Nothing left in the tank. You see the crack, and then suddenly the pincers fall back limp, and you can easily get full blows on this thing's
I do
face.
like this huge somersault as my last one, and down you go, Leonardo da Vinci. Boom.
Oh my god. Leonardo da Vinci is the greatest thing I've heard all day. You
That's
can have
its
an inspiration.
official name in Irene's notebook from now on. That's its new.
You can have an inspiration for that one. That's great. It's a great thing. And with that, the thing is stunned. You guys have got a full round to go absolutely.
Yeah, but the most important thing is, one, I guess it can't do a lair action because it's stunned.
Effectively.
Two,
Well-
Llewellyn needs to make a death save before it's any of our turns.
God.
Nat 20! And
Llewellyn.
in celebration of this, now that this is stunned and it cannot make any deck saves, Carius is going to fly above it, point down.
Llewellyn gets to go.
Yeah, but isn't death saves are at the end of your turn, the one?
No, I don't.
No, they're at the start of your turn. And if you're
Yeah.
on that 2 or 20, Llewellyn just shoots
No,
upright.
but he's paralyzed still.
But
Oh, it...
I'm still paralyzed at the end of my turn. I roll.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Forgot about the paralysis.
yeah.
Still,
So,
that's a lifesaver.
yeah.
You're alive. That's what matters.
Yep.
Okay.
Carius, out of sheer
Okay,
annoyance
okay.
at this thing, is going to fly above it, lightning bolt, destructive wrath straight through it. Because it can't make deck saves.
Yeah, go ahead, roll damage.
I don't need to. So that's 8d6
no, you don't.
maximized.
So no save, no roll.
No. Just bad.
And you know
There's no
what?
roller in it.
Let's do it at 7th level. Might as well. So we'll do it. I just want this thing to die. So that's 9 times 6. 54 lightning damage straight through the bastard.
How do you coup de grace the Leonardo da Vinci? Yeah. Is it just a streak
Yeah.
from the
Cari-
heavens?
Yeah,
Oh, rain cloud.
Carius is gonna raise his glaive to the heavens, spin it round as if like channeling the storm above him, then just sort of shove it down and just be like, "You pinch no more."
Oh, no.
Do not pinch without consent.
No pay, no pinch.
This probably is seen from Riley Port as this streak of lightning surges and flashes over the entire desert. The fulgurite probably goes down like several meters into the ground.
Yeah, because
And-
I'm literally right above it and it's 120 foot. It's got to be the biggest bit of fulgurite in existence.
Where the explosive sand like pushes up through the wound, it fossilizes mid-strike, so that you've got this literally looks like he's been impaled into the ground, and this huge stony like mottled sand is now impaled straight through it. And yeah, it's just stuck there. The pincers are still twitching slightly. The tails have folded over and flopped to the ground, but the creature is dead.
Just see Ksha like, yeah! Like probably like covered in like
Yeah.
gore and
Yeah. Does Lavella make the save finally with a 15?
No. The DC is 18. It's really rough.
I'm just lay there like,
I
Oh,
don't
God.
have the spell to heal it prepared.
oh my god, I just realized this thing's meant to be gargantuan.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
It
this
is.
thing is literally like the size of a house.
It's like the size of the Tarask. It's like a Godzilla-esque monster. It's a kaiju scorpion.
It is Kaiju
One of us
Scorpion.
have an antitoxin.
6 seconds
I could have
later.
swore someone bought one.
Hmm?
It's on your character sheet, sure. But
There we go.
I've
No,
got.
that's what I'm asking. I'm asking if that's something I made up. But
I
No, no,
don't.
they're
Someone
not
bought
things you
one.
can get.
I
You
don't.
can buy them,
I don't have one.
but I don't think you have
Don't
any at
think
the
we-
moment.
Maybe I'm thinking of
They're
something
quite
else.
common.
So 6 seconds after that, it finally wears off, and Llewellyn doesn't get up. He just rolls onto his back and
And
just lays there, looking up at the sky.
yeah.
Feeling the jungle rain and humidity pour down upon you.
And as the rain pours down upon him, I cast Healing Word.
Fact, you know what? As it dies, I'm just gonna do one more of these.
So, what did I miss, guys?
Honestly, I've got no idea. I sort of teleported us above the ground. Kashan stunned it. I lightning bolted it to death.
Oh, I look back, like I'm still not up, just towards
Wait.
Irene. I'm like,
Yeah.
is this what it was like with the dragons? I hit.
Probably.
Sorry, Llewellyn. I just rolled for the wild surge. When you overcome the poison and you roll onto your back, is when you feel like something like you want to throw up. You probably do feel very ill from the poison, but as you roll over and you throw up into the air, you actually disgorge a large python that begins trying to slither away from you.
That's fine. Just-
Yeah,
don't-
Karis just heals him for 7 and then heals himself as well. Because not by much, but it'll do. I feel less like I'm insta dead. Right, there you go.
I'm gonna pew pew the snake. I'm gonna let them get away. Are you crazy?
Yeah,
Maybe
I
turns
mean-
into another one of those things.
I mean, technically, it moved away from me, so I would get an attack opportunity as well.
Yeah, you can. Karis, you chop it in half. Irina, you snipe the other half as it's trying to wriggle away, and the creature dies.
I
But,
would have been more talkative during that fight, but it seems Snake got my tongue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kashan is still victory screaming.
Right.
On top of the creature now.
You
Yeah.
you wanted to you wanted to study it, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna come over to Llewellyn. I'm gonna pull out the very last of the honey wine and give it to him because no one wants to vomit up a snake. That's just not pleasant. So he can have the very last of that, and I'll take that off my sheet.
What's this?
It's the last of the honey wine. From
What did it do?
It's just wine.
It's honey
Oh,
wine.
Literally just honey wine.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not a magical item. It's just
It's the
delicious.
stuff that we
and
gave what's his face to make.
I'm gonna heal myself some more, I think.
It replaces that horrible taste in your mouth and
Yep.
washes down any sand as well.
yeah, I'll take a swig.
That'll
do
do.
that.
That puts us both at
And-
13. It's nice.
Still, I guess, still holding onto the glaive because it was given to me. I'm just gonna lift it into the air and then just have it pull me onto my feet
Yeah.
instead, because
Sure.
how rough that was.
Yeah.
It's gonna lift me up. And then
Right,
I'll-
Irina, you wanted to study it. There you
Yeah,
go.
I'm gonna.
It's even got like oh, literally these came up in the hut recently. The needle through the thing. Like I've literally lightninged a needle through it out of stone. Which
Yeah,
is what
it's
you'd
pretty
have
bad.
for the dissecting a frog and stuff.
The pithing
Roll
needle,
up the
yeah.
Yeah.
sleeves, out comes the notebook, and I'm gonna start walking around. I'm gonna get Kashan to like use this staff to like poke things and.
Kashan's
I wanted-
defensive, others kill.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can roll an Arcana check if you want to start deciphering its magical properties. This thing is
Yeah.
definitely a monstrosity. It's not a natural creature within the desert.
12. Not great.
Well, at first you think this the culmination of some sort of horrible experiment, but then you're like, well, who other than the gnolls or goblins would have made something like this and then released it into the desert? You're not quite sure where it got its magical properties from. Maybe it's fed on something. You look around.
Well, no, my brain kind of wants to know, like, Llewellyn's wearing his old robes, right? I'm gonna just turn him round because he's got like a purple crystal on his back, right? Is that similar to what this thing is made of? Because I'm wondering if it's been to that cave.
Well, the
Okay.
the cave isn't what matters. The crystal is to do with an organization.
Yeah, but what I mean is like the guy who wrote that book that mentioned it, right?
Yeah.
He's
had-
been to the crystal cave, so I'm wondering if that's where he got the crystal.
That is true.
I don't know the background story. You got to remember that. I'm just trying to. It's purple. This thing is made out of purple crystals. I'm just.
Yeah.
It's a very keen observation, and though you haven't got much to go on, it does feel like there could be a connection. With the 12, you would need to go and take some more extended studies with it, samples, and obviously you're going to want to bring this thing back, or at least some of it, as proof to Cal Hatter. During this, you could easily take samples if you want Irene to take further
Yeah.
study. So, this is just an Arcana check to sort of first glance, like, what is it? But you've never seen anything like it before. It's a unique case, so.
I would also like to take a gander at it, maybe with the use of my book, see if it has come across anything that's like this, or whether putting
Okay,
some of it inside it would help it to understand what it is.
sure. You can also roll an Arcana check.
Did you say it was resistant to lightning, by the way, but I overcame that because of...
Yes, correct.
So would
Well-
Karis be aware that he overcame that?
Yeah, I mentioned it. The lightning was sort of streaking across its armor, but then you had to like redirect it and then turn it into like dagger points to stab into it.
Yeah. So Karis would mention, I don't know if it helps, but whatever it's made of, it's naturally resistant to lightning, but not to me.
Okay. Looking at this thing, Llewellyn, the pincers are incredibly strong. Strong enough to hold down and pin prey even bigger than you. The stingers as well, abnormally large. Again, they would probably kill someone outright, even without the poison, which kind of leads you to believe that this thing hunts even bigger prey than humanoids. Given its size and how ancient it is, and the fact that it's resistant to lightning, now that Karis just mentioned that,
Dragons.
it preys on dragons. And where its magical properties come from, potentially come from feeding on the magical beasts themselves. Dragons,
And-
after all, are suffused with old ancient magic.
And
Who knows what eating one would actually do?
this creature's relatively new to the area, right, from what we know. Like, it hasn't been seen by a lot of people until fairly recently, right?
It has, well, that you don't know whether it's recent or not, but Cal Hatter has finally put a bounty on it, probably because of
Yeah.
its sighting.
Yeah, so because Karis was going to say perhaps if Lavella mentions like the dragon thing, perhaps how this has grown to the size it has and such is because the dragons have been like not here as much, so it's had time to just have that natural growth from its natural magic without having to fight and risk itself, perhaps.
In addition to that, the crystalline chitin does seem extra planar. Like you've never seen a crystal like it. It doesn't seem to represent like sapphire or like cobalt. It's something else entirely. And the crystal itself kind of has this glittering wanderlust about it. It's no doubt Cal Hatter's been looking for this. It's a walking treasure trove, pretty much. But you would need to also do further identification of it. But just the way the geode kind of, at the end of one of its claws, shapes, it is almost like a diamond shape at the point of the geode, right? And that does actually kind of represent a similar shape to the crystal on your back. It's the same kind of shape and design.
Oh,
Right.
I just remembered something. Right, let's tie this thing up, give it a heal, and drag it back to Guidia. There's more money in it if it's alive.
um,
Did you forget that you just nearly died?
and
It had-
I don't think it's coming back.
Yeah, it is
Yeah,
dead.
Did
I
you have you still
I
got
just
the
re-
empty jar from the honey wine?
yeah.
Cool. I'd
I just
like to collect a sample of the poison before we sell it.
Yeah,
The
it's pretty.
poison.
It's pretty potent poison.
Okay, roll me a survival check if you would, please.
Can Karis assist partially because he's
They-
resistant to poison and he's proficient in
Yes,
survival?
they can assist.
19.
Very nice. You get one from each tail with a 19.
And it has
And
3
then-
tails at this point.
It
do
does.
we want to go to town on it in terms of like, because obviously Calcutta wants parts of it,
Well,
so we're
We've-
gonna have to cut it up.
we've got it's big, but if we tied some
I
ropes
mean-
around it, we could drag it back to town and put it on the ship.
Or we could just send him a message and say, come to us with a cart that's big enough.
Yeah, so
It's pinned to the ground.
yeah, it's more. I'm just worried that with the lightning, that we might have attracted like the gnolls again, and they'll just.
I don't think they're brave enough to approach that.
That is true, considering what happened the last time they dealt with lightning. I mean, what?
Next episode, no defense game. While Carius gets to Calcutta, we're just here like taking on wave after wave of gnolls.
You
Give
killed a
them
lot of them
ideas.
already.
Yeah, I think we like halve their numbers, just me and Irina.
You can break off the fog, right, and get up,
Yeah.
get the body up from the ground. Just want to quickly make a note on your poison, because
Yeah.
it is 60-10, wasn't it? Plus paralyze on a DC 18.
Damn,
So-
that's pretty beefy poison. Like that's.
Incredibly dangerous. Let me just add that. Did you write it on your inventory?
I haven't yet, no.
Okay. So
And you've got 3 doses.
write
of
down
it.
3 doses of Leonardo da Vinci, and you can add that it is a on wound type poison. And that just in the description put 60-10 DC 18 paralyzed for 1 minute.
This is gonna have something special to it. If I put a piece of this into my book,
Your book goes,
it's gotta.
This is incredible. Had I known that this poison existed before, we should have sought this out instead of Midnight's Tears.
I'm sorry, what?
Wow.
Midnight's Tears. The poison you are to acquire for the potion.
I think I got Midnight Tears.
You do. But how many doses?
Let me scroll down. There's a lot of scrolling since we
That's-
changed things over.
That's a hell of a poison.
At least half a dozen doses of Midnight Tears, and I have 1 dose.
Meaning you have one lot of 6 times. Really, you should just change that to just 6. Wait, where is this in your inventory?
Yeah, it says I need at least half a dozen doses, but I only have 1 dose, so I'm 5 off.
Right. Okay, so your book would say, never mind the corpse. That poison is so potent that it could replace Midnight Tears within the concoction. But you would need to politely ask your companion for it.
And how much damage does a Midnight Tears do?
Let's quickly check.
It's a pretty deadly poison, but not the deadliest, if I remember rightly.
Midnight tears are ingested 1,500 gold. It's 96 poison.
So it's like one less technically.
No.
That's what it is. Well,
It's
60,
an-
60, 10, 96. You know, it's
Similar-ish.
similar-ish.
One with max is at 54, one max is at 60. It's
Yeah.
basically an extra d6. Like if you did it as 10d6, 10d6 is the same as 6d10.
Anyway, yeah.
7. I think it's slightly more powerful.
Yeah, it would be slightly more. It would do an extra 6 damage if you rolled max.
Yeah.
So,
Does Midnight's Tears also do like a paralysis effect? Because that's an additional thing on top of it. It's top
No,
of
it does
damage.
not.
So that makes
So,
it a lot more valuable, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Irina,
Huh?
how much of this did you get?
I got one from each tail, so 3 doses.
3 doses. Do you need all 3?
I mean, I'm studying them to see if obviously they're any different from each other. But
Is that all the venom in the tails, or 'cause I need a dose of this. I'd be willing to trade with you,
or you could just ask and say, please.
please.
Yeah, sure.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm not used to
You hand
people
him,
handing
you hand
us-
him 1 or 2 doses?
Just the one.
Just 1. Okay. You can write down you've also got 1.
But
Yeah.
before
Those
you
are-
use it, I just want to be able to study and make sure it's not different from the others that I got. Because one of these tails obviously was a new growth. Just want to check
Yeah.
that it doesn't have any differences.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
Okay.
As all this like complex transactions is going on, Karis just sort of raises a hand and goes, "Does this count as me paying off the IOU as I've got this for you to study? Like a little bit, at least."
I didn't. I'll think about it. It's supposed to be redeemed when I ask, but
Okay.
I'll think about it.
How do you haul this thing back to Guidia?
Airship, chain, like the
Well, I'd
dragons.
have to go grab the airship for the airship.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
We can do this then. We can, for the sake of brevity, say that you head back to the airship. Getting it up in the air though, a little bit tricky. You're going to need to use Erikos Carius to bring down the cloud level all the way down and effectively lift up the boat once again once the clouds have been enchanted to actually
Yeah.
provide lift.
Hmm.
It was quite the ordeal last time, but you didn't know the full inner workings of it at the time. But now, Kashan, if you once again attune to the ship, you kind of, over time, coax it into bringing itself into the air. You feel as though it is wounded. Not necessarily physically, but... Strange. The crystal is obviously some sort of strange sentient device, but once it became one with the ship, maybe it feels like the ship is its body, in a sense. But-
Okay.
Despite the injuries, it doesn't show reluctantness. It doesn't show reluctantness to want to go into the air. In fact, it tries to even maybe push itself a bit too hard, and you have to kind of hold it back just to make sure that the ship is going to stay in one piece.
When we get back, I'll just spend some time with the ship, just in a stationary status, but just almost just sitting in conversation, calm it down a little bit.
Yeah, it perhaps just wants to get out there and use its boosters once again, but you just need to take it slow for a couple of days. So you kind of refrain from using the boosters, at least on the journey to Guidia. It's only a day or so journey.
Yeah.
But coming up to 10 by the looks, so
Yep.
we will begin to wrap it up here, but we'll say that you do make your safe approach towards Guidia. Whether you want to show the ship or not, that's up to you.
No, we'll
You can obviously...
we'll stay above the cloud cover, and then we'll just sort of drop the scorpion down outside, and then I'll go get Cal.
Raining scorpions.
Like a fair
that's not
distance
wrong.
away, and we'll let them know that it's there and they can come and get it, because obviously we can't drag it any further.
Excellent. One last thing before we end then. Where's the Claude Coast? Here we go. Alright. Irina, I just want you to make a perception check. Just Irina. 14. Okay. There's just a light prickling of heat on your body. And it's on like your left arm. It kind of goes away though after a while. Once you reach Guidia and you're beginning to set down, it's no longer there. It was just on the journey. Just a light prickling of heat. I'm not sure what it means.
Have you not done that before?
No, not this particular type. Like, you know how he communicates through heat. That's not unusual. But just a sense that it was slightly new. Like, it was a new emotion that you haven't felt within Candlewick before.
And it's specifically my left arm.
Yeah, on the frontish. So on the front and left of your arm, yes.
I'm gonna sort of go and find like my room on the ship. And obviously I'm just gonna let him sort of float around Gabbard and things like that. And just sort of, because I haven't actually had a chance to like sit and actually talk with him for a while.
No.
I feel
Sure.
like I need to go to bed, so night,
Yeah.
guys.
Night, night.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Would we have long
night.
rested on our journey? We
You could have, yes. Yeah.
thought so. So, I'm just gonna roll long rest.
Yeah, the prickling is a new sensation because it's new. You're not sure exactly what it means. Like, you've kind of come to guess what yes and no means. You've also understood when he's angry, when he wants to avenge someone. He kind of, when he's explorative. This is a new emotion you've not sensed before, and it's just a light prickling.
Yeah, so I'm gonna sort of sit on the floor, kind of like cross-legged. You know, I'm gonna take my jacket off and put it to one side. Obviously, sit the scabbard sort of down on the floor opposite me, and just let him float around and do what he wants, and just. Is something
Okay.
wrong?
The smoke doesn't seem to answer you.
Right. Are you in a bad mood?
Still no answer.
Good mood.
Still no response.
Are you sad at that we have killed the thing?
No response. You can roll an insight check at this point.
19. You're behaving
Okay.
weird.
It's at this point you kind of get the feeling that they've not answered you because they're not because there's no like yes or no to it. You get the feeling that the smoke is its head is in the clouds. No, really, it doesn't seem to be paying attention. The smoke is just wafting there lightly in the air, they're thinking.
Okay.
And it's not that they've ignored you, it's that they seem to be concentrating on something. Like their head is in the clouds, right?
Okay.
They're preoccupied.
I'm gonna actually summon the sword and sort of hold it in my hands then. And I'm gonna do sort of like the Inigo Montoya. Point to my sword. What has your attention?
Like a dowsing rod.
Yeah.
Okay. It points northwest.
Northwest. What's northwest?
So at this, I'm gonna just place your token on the map where you would be. Oh, that's the glaive. This is on the way to Guidia.
Hmm.
So that's where you are right now.
So
Points
Okay.
northwest.
Dry oasis. Northwest. Yeah, it's the dry oasis sort of area. Alright. You want to go to the dry oasis?
There is a cold sensation to the blade.
No. You want to go to the ruins?
It remains cold.
Alright. Somewhere between the two.
There's a sigh of smoke that exhales from the blade. And I'm going to require you to do another insight check because the blade is cold.
I'm very confused at this
Like, it
point.
doesn't
He's not being
want
very
to.
clear.
Like, it's a no. But then there's not a clear answer either. So, but it's different from when you asked the dry oasis and the rattling ruins. There's kind of like this exhalation of smoke from the blade, as if it's a heavy sigh.
Okay, I want to try a thing because the communication issues I'm having with Candlewick recently, I'm literally going to get up and try and find Kashan.
Khan is probably in a trance piloting the ship,
Okay.
meditating.
I'm gonna.
Well, it's more a passive thing, so
Yeah.
he's conscious.
Okay.
I don't want, like, if he looks like he's in the middle of something, I'm not going to disturb him. I'm literally just going to scribble a note and maybe like stick it to his forehead.
You probably enter the just step in the room. It's like, can I help?
Are you busy?
Yeah, we're just wrapping up things.
Okay, cool. I was wondering if you could help me with something.
Of course. He'll kind of stand up and just give the big crystal thing a little bow and a pat, and then we'll turn around.
Okay.
Egbert over the shoulder. How can I help?
So, how do I put this without sounding like I'm sort of in like marriage counseling?
I was about to say relationship issues.
I'm having trouble communicating with Candlewick at the moment. He seems to be very distracted. And it used to be that I could understand what he wanted just fine, but recently it seems to have got a bit more complex. And you obviously understanding not necessarily language, but the intent behind language, and obviously that you can you get kind of like the same gist with the ship. I'm wondering if maybe you can help me try and figure this out, because I need to know what he needs. Because I made him a promise and I can't keep that promise if I can't understand him anymore.
I can certainly give it a go. However, isn't he attuned to you, so to speak?
Not attuned. More like bonded. I don't know if you know how warlocks work.
No.
Okay, so what's the best way to describe? Okay. Say I'm gonna pull like a bit of cake that I've got stashed in my pocket for no reason at all. Yeah. Say I am Candlewick, and I am
Hang on. Okay.
I'm offering you this piece of cake, and you want to take the cake, and that's the thing. But in order to take the cake, you're sort of bound to my power. In order to have the cake, you are bound. And there's generally rules.
This is why I don't play spellcasts.
So you can't just have your cake and eat it too. There's rules to it.
There are rules. Okay.
At the end of the blade, you see there is a little tiny candle light lit, like he is the birthday candle.
Okay.
Huh.
So, when I was little, I say little, I was maybe 12, 13 at the time. There was in the oldest part of the library where they keep all the artifacts that they don't know what they are, or they're undiscovered, and they're sort of, they may be dangerous, so they're like in glass cases and stuff. There was this empty scabbard, and no one knew what it was or what it did, so it was contained in a cage, glass cabinet thing, magically sealed, obviously. And I was in a part of the building I shouldn't have been in, but curiosity and like things that no one knows what they do, and I couldn't help myself. Okay.
So you're about to finish that saying then.
I thought about it.
That would have gone completely different.
Yeah. And I passed this case, and I could have sworn I saw something. So of course, naturally, I doubled back, thinking like, "Oh, there's someone else in here. I'm gonna get in trouble." But it turns out there was this smoke in the case. So I stood there, and he was sort of like, it felt like he was watching. And like I'd failed the exams already several times, and first seeing that smoke, it kind of scared me because it was watching me, and of course no one had ever seen it do something like this, so I kind of left. But I found myself coming back to it again and again, and eventually, how do I put this? When like myself or Carius or Llewellyn cast spells, sometimes we have to make movements with our hands and our arms.
Yes.
The smoke in the case seemed to be making those patterns, and I followed the patterns, and something happened, and for a moment I understood what it was he wanted, and what he could do to help me. We both wanted to travel, we both wanted to see the world. He spent so long in this glass case, and he wanted to see the world, and I wanted the strength to leave the library and make my own travels, and we both wanted the same thing. So when I copied these gestures and followed the pattern of the smoke against the glass of the case, that's when we made our pact, and that's when I burned down the library.
Yeah. Okay.
I at that point didn't know how to control it, and forming the pact was a lot of magic, and it all just sort of at once. And since then, in order to keep this power and to be able to do what it is I love, I need to make sure I'm filling my end of the bargain. And I can't do that if I can't understand what he wants from me.
I see. Well, we've had a conversation in regards to Candlewick before, when we had the frozen flame incident.
Hmm.
Do you think? Let's try this. Kashan will kind of gather them, gather Irene around towards the crystal, because this is already like a place that is filled with an essence of strong bonds, because of course the crystal and Kashan are currently bound heavily.
Yep.
So I'll set Irina beside, and I'll say, "Are you able to bring Candlewick out?"
Sure, he can. Like, he's probably still floating around her, to be fair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Although the smoke seems to have been, like, again, preoccupied, sort of off center, not even in the middle of the conversation.
He's distracted. He keeps looking off to the sort of northwest.
Probably
but
like
it's-
near the window, to the left.
Well, okay. Just follow my lead on this. And Kashan is going to just sit down cross-legged. We'll gesture Irina to join.
Mhm.
And he is going to hold a hand out to Irina. And will grab hold. He will then reach over and place a hand on the scabbard.
Okay.
Yes. You feel a searing kind of heat when you place it like on a really hot radiator that's just hot enough that it won't burn you, but it like almost scalding.
Tingles. Do I feel Candlewick at all? Apart
The
from
heat?
physically burning.
So it's at this point, the heat, as you're like, wincing for it, you begin to realize the heat is a language.
Okay.
Candlewick
Is it saying, "Stop touching me"?
It's saying, get the off me, because, and there's also mistrust in that as well. And that is,
Wow.
you're gonna do that. Don't do that thing to me like you did last time. It's fearful of that encounter it had last time. There's kind of a flashing image of that in your head, where you remember the smoke kind of paralyzed when you went with the frozen flame.
So Kashan is going to release the hand on the scabbard. Maintains onto Irina, so there's still that link. We'll take a deep breath. We'll say, "Candlewick, trust me." And he'll grab hold of again. However, what I feel I want to happen is for Kashan to once again try and regain that bond of the ship. And we'll try and almost put his, what's it called? Where you kind of put your perspective shit. Can't remember. That it's kind of like an outer body. However, he wants to release control. So the ship is effectively free.
Yeah. Okay.
And I want the ship to point in a direction. To just be free in its movement and go in the direction it pleases. However, I am hoping that having this link between Irina and between the scabbard with Candlewick might give us an idea as to where he's wanting to go.
So the smoke has actually manipulated the clouds before, because this thing is using enchanted clouds,
Mm-hmm.
and Candlewick literally is smoke. there is a sense that as you kind of relinquish control, Candlewick does actually begin to sense that, almost like you're giving the reins over to him.
Exactly.
There's again an exhalation of smoke that you translate as a heavy sigh. And there's weight behind it. It's not like he's exasperated, it's more like there's a sense of heaviness to this, like a deep breath. And Candlewick begins to, not slowly, but rapidly move through the ship, the system. The cloud kind of spreads itself thin, but not thin enough that it's completely evaporated or diluted, but just enough that it's able to shape the clouds. And slowly you start to see the ship twist, turn, and aim in a northeasterly direction. As it does this, the cloud that was once blue goes dark. A large shadow now supports the ship. Almost could be mistaken for storm clouds, but you don't feel the moisture or anything like that. This is like smoke now, not rain clouds. And everything around the ship kind of darkens, the shadows stretch upwards. Even the crystal kind of dims slightly. Where it was once this chromatic, beautiful swirling of colors, it dulls and goes almost grayed out. There's just the faintest hint of color, but it kind of mutes slightly. And the ship finally is in full turn and is pointed northwest rather. But you are very close to Gaidia. You're maybe only a few hours journey away. And if you keep on this path, you won't make it to Gaidia. You will be going across the Shimmy River. But you've still got that massive thing to drop off. So
Yeah.
But on that note, as the shadows kind of stretch out, there is one last word that is almost lost in translation. I'd like just Kashan to roll the insight check on this. Because Irina, you've not come across this one before, but Kashan may be able to translate for you using the tongue of sun and moon.
Do I have any assistance from the ship, just out of curiosity?
You know what? Yes, because the ship senses the direction.
Okay. Also, it was my consciousness was the word that I was trying to find. Yeah. Natural 20.
Okay.
Candlewick. We go way back.
All right. This shadow that's spread around the room, it's ominous. The prickling on Irina wasn't something to grab her attention and go, look this way, because they're reluctant. And as you try to feel out this idea, reluctantness, ominousness, and a direction, the final word that comes to your mind is duty. And you almost hear it whisper, a crackling fire. Duty. And that is where we will end tonight's session.
What?
All right.
Something that way that needs to die.
Yep.
Duty.
Okay.
Duty.
Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see after they've delivered their little scorpion where their journey leads. It seems to be on the same direction to the dry oasis, but what lies between there and here, we will find out. What shadow in this desert has Candlewick picked up? Find out next week. And tune in on Sunday as well for Baba Yaga's Dancing Hut, the Witch Hunters. And again on the 20th, on the Monday, for the second episode of What Lies Beneath, where hopefully we can break out of this damn drow prison and escape into the Underdark.
And not got killed by Sturges.
Yes, that was hideous. All right.
Right.
See you then.
Bye bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
Mm.